Drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Indeed, we're here and it's Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino's Spot tonight. And we have a lovely evening tonight. Indeed, we have Sandy Coffey on, and it's been such an outpouring of love for this lady. You will not believe. And such an interesting guest we have tonight. I can't wait. I've even got my little, what you call it, the purple zebra. I don't know what it represents or means. We just went for it tonight because I saw it in the costume box. You know what I mean? All right. Well, welcome to Gino's Spot. Fantastic to have you aboard. If you've never watched before, fantastic to have you with us as well. Gino's Spot is a show that happens every Tuesday and every Saturday at 6:30, no matter come wind, hail, shine, rain, and if it's a little bit late, then there's been a technical issue, but this very seldom happens, except last week. But that's fine. We're okay because we get through these things because we are tough now that we've had COVID. Indeed, we've done all. We've been shooting through this pandemic, trying to keep our heads above water. Indeed, everybody's been in this rough seas, and we're going to make it through the other side. And thank you to our sponsors who've been with us from the beginning, who jumped on right at the beginning, even when we were crap. Yes, and that is Fitch and Leeds. Thank you, Fitch and Leeds, and Spa. Spa have been a wonderful, wonderful support over this time. And of course, we have Merbia, our internet provider. And we've got Fat Cats now that's given us some food. Thank you, Grace from Fat Cats. Look at that. We've been chowing a whole lot already. We're going to indeed got some pastries there. If you want a pastry, very nice. This one's got like some sort of stuff in. Take a bite. Come on, take a bite. You're serious. Try this. Just try. No, just try it. There we go. Fat Cats. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you to Grace for this lovely food. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have, like I said, we have a fantastic, we have Sandy Coffey on tonight, and if that sounds like Sandy Coffey sounds like on the beach with a cup of coffee, that's exactly what she enjoys. And indeed, Brian Wilkinson, hello, Brian, from the boardwalk, and Angela Mayoyola, I remember your name from before as well, fantastic to have you on. Camilla Ellis from Warmer Library, lovely to have the Warmer Libraries representing tonight. And hello, Cat James, lovely to have you on too, all the way from England. Hola to you too. Matthew Porter, how's it, man? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, send me your comments. Tell me what you're drinking, because I have a little Fitch and Lees over here with a little bit of gin. Thank you to Keith. Of course, we need some more. We have a bottle here, but we need some more very soon. You know, Keith, we go through this stuff like it's water. You know, really, it goes so quickly. I don't know what happens to it. So we've got punters. We've got a little bit of Fitch and Leeds here, but mixes, which is fantastic. I'm doing the grapefruit, which I like. That's it, Stephen Lancaster, Fitch and Leeds for the hydration win. I don't know what you're doing at the moment, Stephen. I hope you're having some good time. I don't know if you're doing Ironman, but after climbing Everest, it might be a bit hectic for you. Of course, Stephen Lancaster did the Everest climb up Brickmakers, up again and again and again and again, up and down Brickmakers. Geez, like, incredible chap as well. Here, had him a guest. And you can find those old interviews on Gino's Spot if you go to Gino's YouTube/Gino's Spot. Gino's Spot with 2 S's, just like that. Thelma Jean Barton, host. Hello from Thelma in Durban. Love it to have you as well. Durban, fantastic. You know, how's the weather up there? Must be a bit muggy, huh? Bit muggy. And Liz Waters, she's watching for Sandy. She's waiting for Sandy. That's right. We're going to have it on just now. Don't you worry, indeed. All right, so tell us where you're watching from and tell us what you're drinking. Let me know what's happening. And let's do a little song for you. Let's do a little bit of I'll sing your comments. Come on, bring them in. Bring those comments. Put them in. Woo! All right. Bringing a simultaneous Liz Waters drinking simultaneously. Cheers with you. And Carrie Smith McLean from Punamita. Oh, that's Oh, and Silvana from Toronto. And James is there too. He says, hello, Mandy and James in Canada too. Whoa! Cynthia Shannon is it? And on Thelma Jean Bartonhurst. It's raining in Devon. Well, it rains anyway in Devon. It just seems like it's raining all the time. You can feel with that muggy air. It's always like tropical vibes. Angela, my Ola, can't watch Gino Spot without a TNC. Hooray! Watching from Zululand was Squid Sands. Debbie Brian Wilkinson, yippee! Let the show go on. Yeah, Cat Anderson James. It's never too early for a gin. Doesn't matter where you are. Oh! All right, Matthew Potter from Port Elizabeth. Rebecca. We are all the Beckies from Rebecca. Whoa, drinking coffee, said James. You better put a little something inside, maybe vodka, because then it doesn't smell on your breath. Chops. Are you eating chops, are you? Or I don't know. Anita Doyle, lovely to have you here as well. Fantastic. Lovely Nini. She's all the way in America. She's over in America. Love to have people from all over the world. Espanol. Lees waters from Spain. Very good. And LaRue, goeie, bro. Ek gaan goeie. I love it. Anita, wow. And her son Dominic is doing so well with the races. Tell me how Dominic's doing. We've got a little South African little PE boykie that's doing us proud in the States with the motorbikes. Let me show you. What is it? It's not MotoGP, but the other American one, the motorbikey. Tell us what's happening there, Anita, as well. We'll tell the guys watching too. Gino having a whoopski. Oh, very nice. Nice, Brendan Kelly. I hope you're not traveling all over the bloody country at the moment as well. And I see Bella Dakin on. Leslie Jacobs, lovely to see you. We just stayed with Leslie down in Cape Town. It was absolutely fantastic. We had a little week in Cape Town, and wow, Cape Town is just looking so beautiful. And we went to Paul, and we had a run in the morning at 5 o'clock. The mountain, Paul Rock was there, and it was so beautiful indeed. Woo! And Wendy Shawn, hello from Vancouver Island. All the way from Canada. And Bella Dakin, hello, Bella, lovely to have you. You now met Bella first when she was still a nurse. You're now at university, indeed. Oh, no. Moto America, that was the one. So we're watching out for Dominic Doyle in Moto America. He's doing so nicely. I hope he's winning all those races. He's going to take over from Valentino Rossi now that he's gone. Debbie Lane, lovely to have you on as well. Are we going to, off-season currently prepping for 2022 Supersport 600 class. Train. Oh, very good. Well, do that. Please just make sure he doesn't fall off and break his, I don't know what he's going to break, Really, these youngsters that get on these motorbikes, they drive like maniacs. So lovely to have everybody on board, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to, first of all, have our What You're Watching tonight with Darren Fuller. Let's see what we should be watching. Cheers, Darren!
Hello! Cheers to you, good sir.
Lovely to have you on. We've missed you because you've been off and out for a while. And,
I know. I've missed you guys as well. I do apologize. There have been things, things.
Yes, I know. Life happens. Things happen. So let us know what we should be watching. Have you been watching a lot of series and things?
I have. We did not have electricity for a little while, but I have caught up since then. You ask every time, and it is in fact a pen.
Oh yes.
Yes, it is a pen with a furry top.
I know. It's like I forget it every time. It's like
I understand. It's very beguiling. I understand your question. Very interesting.
Yes. Lovely, yes.
Uh,
Well, don't stick it anywhere we shouldn't. And tell
I
us now
shan't.
what we should be. Yes, don't tell us what we should be watching then, Derek.
Of course. Hello, everyone. Okay, so I don't know if you've noticed. I mean, I've been very subtle about it, but I'm very Christmassy right now. 1st of November, in my opinion, it's fair game. It's Christmas. So just for a little bit. Okay, that's actually really long, so I'm going to stop it there. But yes, guys, look, 1st of November onwards, it's Christmas season for me. So yes, there actually isn't too much Christmas in my watch list, but nevertheless, there's a bit. So firstly, guys, I was going through some old things, and I wanted to personally answer the very big question as to whether Die Hard is in fact a Christmas film. So obviously my favorites are your usual Love Actually, Nightmare Before Christmas, The Holiday, but I recently rewatched Die Hard and I can categorically say 'tis a Christmas film, completely. Bruce Willis, look, he's a bit surly these days, but Bruce Willis in Die Hard was fantastic. It was at Christmas, there were decorations, there were Christmas trees, and Alan Rickman, perfection in his first main role. Guys, Die Hard is fantastic. It's an amazing film, and it's definitely a Christmas film. So rewatch Die Hard, if not just for Alan Rickman, you know, for everything. Okay, then I actually watched a new film to Netflix called Love Hard, which is quite cute because it's actually called Love Hard because of Love Actually and Die Hard. Anyway, so it's got Nina Dobrev as the main character from Vampire Diaries. She is a blogger, and she writes all these articles about meeting these terrible guys on Tinder or whatever date chat thing. And of course, it's very realistic. That's an incredibly attractive woman, just can't meet a guy. But nevertheless, she goes on these awful dates, and her editor loves it because everyone likes reading about these terrible dates. But then she meets this guy who is so cute, and they get along so well, and they're chatting, and she really likes him. And then he says, why don't you come for Christmas? And she's like, yeah, why don't I? So she goes all the way to wherever he lives for Christmas. It's very snowy. It looks very pretty. And it turns out she's been catfished. Yeah. He posted a different picture. It's not actually him. So hijinks continue. And she meets the guy that the picture that he used, she meets him, and this guy says, no, don't worry about it. I'm going to introduce you to this guy, and I'm going to get you to like him, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's really very, very cute. It's a beautiful Christmas film. Like I said, if you love Vampire Diaries, it's really nice to see Nina Dobrev again on the screen, and it's just a really lovely comedy. And what I really loved is the one character loves Love Actually, the other likes Die Hard, and is thus Love Hard. So that was very, very cute. Watch that on Netflix. Then what else did I watch? Oh, okay. So for some bizarre reason, I was watching a series. I have reestablished my love for Robert Carlyle. So Robert Carlyle is a British actor. He's fantastic. And I decided I was going to watch Ravenous. So guys, Ravenous, I think it's a film, I'm assuming between 2007, 2011. It's fantastic. I've just always remembered this film for Robert Carlyle. So the film goes about Guy Pearce. He was a British officer, and he supposedly won this war. I presume it's set in the late 1800s. He won a war, but he was actually a coward. So he gets sent off to this tiny little base in the middle of nowhere in America. And he's basically just sitting in the snow, feeling sorry for himself, when this mysterious man passes out in the snow, and he's hungry, and he's been traveling through the snow, and he's dehydrated, and it's Robert Carlyle. And everyone's like, dude, what happened? And he's like, oh my gosh, we ran out of food, and we found a cave, and eventually we ate each other. I know. So supposedly it wasn't a good idea. He feels really bad about it. There's still a lady in the cave. So they get their wagon together. They go out on their horses to find this lady. But guys, this movie is so creepy. I absolutely love it. The one scene with Robert Carlyle's eyes, it's So creepy. Anyway, so guys, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it is a fantastically creepy film. The cinematography is amazing. And like I said, look, Guy Pearce is fantastic. Robert Carlyle is superb. So please do watch that. And since I was on a Robert Carlyle wave, I also found this film, which I hadn't seen before, Marilyn Hotchkiss Ballroom Dancing and Charm School. It was absolutely delightful. So Robert Carlyle is a baker, and he's going along the road, and he witnesses a car accident, and he calls the ambulance, and he's chatting to this guy, which is actually John. Anyway, famous actor. So they're chatting, and this guy's obviously going to die, but he's telling him he has to make it to this date that he made like 40 years ago, but he has to make it to this charm dancing school. And Robert Carlyle ends up going himself just to, make sure that the lady knows that he was going to go. Oh, guys, and it's just so, it's absolutely lovely, because his wife had passed away, and now he meets all these beautiful people, and he starts to love dancing, and he recovers as a person, and it's just beautiful. And it's Marissa Tomei, who, if you watched anything during the 90s, you have to love Marissa Tomei. So guys, please watch that. It was beautiful. It was on Prime. Okay. So new movies. I watched Jungle Cruise. So Jungle Cruise has The Rock. This is actually from Loch Ness, guys. This rock. Loch Ness Monster could have licked it. Rock. And also, it was just fantastic. It's basically like Emily Blunt is this Indiana Jones, Brendan Fraser from the Mummy character. It's fantastic. It has adventure. It has the Amazon. It has ghosts. It has monsters. It's fantastic. It was so great. Please watch that. And then lastly, Shang-Chi. Guys, Marvel film Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. Yes. It was absolutely amazing. It has Simu Liu and Aquafina in it. Basically, this guy, he's in America. He has no family, but then all of a sudden, boom, he's actually a martial arts expert, and his dad is after him, and nobody knew this. So he has to go all the way back to China, and he has to face his dad, and it's just amazing. Aquafina is fantastic. It has everything that a Marvel film should have, except even better. I was so impressed with this movie, guys. I was just so happy. So please watch all of that. I actually probably watched about 20 other movies, but we really just don't have time. So
All right.
thank you ever so much for listening to me, and
It's a pleasure.
watch everything I just said.
Yes, it was fantastic. That was. I bet you were very glad when he said he ate his friends. That guy.
Well, Robert Carlyle can be very creepy, so he
Okay.
can say it very well. I mean, just watch the movie. It's so good. You should see his eyes. They're like so dark.
Oh, really? Okay. And I'm going to have a look. But then there's the other one that I would never in a million years, I would have scrolled past it 1,000 times. What did you say? The one with the
Marilyn Hotchkiss.
Yes. Yeah, no, honestly. I
You know
wouldn't
the
have
same
watched that,
thing.
so maybe.
I know. I went through it. I went past it so many times, and I just decided to watch it one morning because I was in a
Okay.
Robert Carlyle wave, and it's such a beautiful movie. It's so lovely.
Okay. No, well, I'll remember that and try. I'll try when I see a crap title again, and I'll try and have a look at it anyway.
Please do. Please do. And note my earrings.
Very, very beautiful. It's just
Thank you
so
very
Christmassy. It's getting us into the Christmas flavor, and we're going to use. We nearly forgot that Lee Gold, Simeon from Lee Gold, promised us that he was going to give away a guitar that was shaped as a rugby ball. I mean, it was a soccer ball from the World Cup 210. So it's a vintage guitar that he's actually going to give away on Gino Spot. So we're going to do that for Christmas, I think.
Oh my word! He can just give it to me if he wants. It's fine. I'll take
no,
it.
it's fine. I'm sure he'll go for. Although he's not a Christ, I think he's Jewish, so he doesn't do the Christmas thing. But it's fine. He can give it for us for Christmas. You know what I mean?
I can do Hanukkah.
Directly. Yeah, it'll be Hanukkah. Thank you, Derry. Thanks so much.
Only a
for
pleasure.
coming on.
Lovely to see you.
to see you again. Lovely to have her back again. We've been missing her for a few weeks. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to bring on our special guest tonight, Sandy Coffey, all the way from St. Francis. Ta-da! Hello, Sandy. How are you doing there?
So well, it's ridiculous.
Well, it looks very nice. I see you spent the whole day tidying up your room behind you.
Actually, I'm not even in my home. I'm in someone else's home.
Oh, really? So, trying to give us
Yeah.
a good impression then.
Different, except there's no wine. So, Greg, if you're listening, I need some
What?
wine.
No, Greg, bring Sandy some wine or something, or a G&T or anything. We've got a bit
Yeah.
of G&T. I wish I could pour. You could give you something
so.
through
Thank you.
through this.
Thanks very
Here you
much.
go, this side. Oh my word, Sandy, fantastic to have you on. What have you been doing? What have you been doing with yourself this during this little period? I say little period.
How far do you want me to go back?
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say, what are you doing at the moment? What did you do yesterday?
Yesterday, I had 2 shoots. I edited.
Oh,
I went to Pilates. I died, and then I came back alive.
you died in
Well, just from
Pilates. Is it?
Pilates. Yeah,
Is it
that's
that
quite
quite?
intense,
Is it that dangerous? That Pilates stuff?
Yeah, it was my first. So
Never.
it was dangerous.
Oh, was your first one? Oh, really?
Christmas
time
is
you've been
coming, you know.
Oh, right. So that's a busy day. That was Monday. That was a
I'm
Monday.
busy. I've never been busier, actually. It's been fantastic.
Geez, like. Well, that is amazing. So, has the COVID thing affected your photography stuff? I mean,
So when COVID happened, my photography business went down the tube, as you can imagine.
yes.
Because I did a lot of eventing. And so what we did was we decided to do lockdown shoots. And
Yes,
250
okay.
rods, we would come to your house
Yes.
and you could
Wow.
stay over there in the doorway and we would photograph
Yes.
you from 160 feet away, not quite, but
Yeah,
and then we
wow.
would give that money to charity. So that's what happened in lockdown. It was fantastic.
Oh, no ways, Sandy, you legend.
Yeah.
So you did a charity thing, and you know, I think that's probably been a thing during this lockdown, during this time, is that people have really sort of reached out and helped, and clearly you've done that
Yeah,
as
there
well.
was a great outpouring for sure. I mean, that's what we saw in St. Francis. It was incredible how I didn't know anybody who wasn't
I hear
doing
it.
something.
I hear
me
the
too.
booze. I can hear the
Oh,
booze coming. The ice.
Oh, come on, bring it in.
I just heard it coming down the stairs.
Oh, thank you.
There it is. Look at that.
It's a huge glass.
Look
too.
at those little children. Have you got little slaves there in the
Oh, no,
background?
yes, lots of slaves. Yeah. Yes. So just
Fantastic.
to finish with the COVID. So also I got COVID. I mean, a lot of people got COVID here. I think the wave came here very, very intensely.
Yes.
But lucky enough that in our group, we didn't lose anyone, thank goodness. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
But it did affect
That's
everyone.
also been the thing. It's been like almost like a like a world war. You know, where you
Yeah,
don't know who's
yeah, it
coming
is.
back and who's you know, it's crazy. And I see. Oh, there's a lot of comments coming through here as well. So Gary will just slot up some. There's Bella Dakin saying hello. How's it?
Hello, Bells.
Yes.
Over.
She's got a lovely place overlooking Hewlett's, overlooking the surf there. And
Oh, Kathleen,
Booth.
thank you. Yeah.
What a,
I got a
she
story
says,
about
what a
Kathleen.
privilege. Oh, tell us the story
No,
about
no, no.
Kathleen.
When you ask me about shoots, I'll tell you about Kathleen.
Okay. No, but we'll have to remember now. We have to Kathleen, you
okay.
better put another comment on when she talks about shoots. And Angela, I see Angela, is she also overseas or is she here as well? I see Angela on every now and again.
No, I think she's PE.
As a PE still. Okay. She's still around here. And James.
James
Who's
is Canada.
James?
Calgary.
Is James in Canada? Who's that? Is that your brother or your?
Okay, so James has got an interesting story. So James and Mandy, who I went to school with, I went to school with Mandy. I hadn't seen her for many years because she had immigrated to Canada. And James is what you would call a beautiful old-time surfer.
Oh, excellent.
They came here just before lockdown to see Mandy's mom, and they got locked down. So they decided to come to St. Francis, and they rented a spot right next to ours, and they stayed here for 4 months.
Oh,
all he did was surf every day. His home break was.
What a terrible place to be locked down. I know.
So it was a real gift.
Like he says, ta-da! Oh man! And I see, there's Debbie Lane saying how she's proud of you as well.
Oh, Debs. Also school friend.
School friends. Where were you at school?
In Maritzburg at Epworth. My parents were farmers, so we couldn't go to school on the farm, so we got shunted to.
Okay.
Actually, I chose to go to boarding school.
Where was your farm?
On the Azingelweni Road in Port Edward, on the
Oh,
Umtamvuna
Zingulweni.
Gorge. It's just on the border of
Okay.
the Transkei.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So you're a farm girl, actually. It's like a
Hmm.
blaas meisie.
Yeah, I don't really
So
have sophistication. I'll
That
tell you a
didn't-
funny
that didn't-
story about. Yeah, I
Yes.
wasn't going to tell you this story, but when I was
Good.
18, I was saving up money to go overseas. I desperately wanted to travel, and I went to waitress at this restaurant in Durban in Smith Street called Sir Benjamin's.
Okay.
And I remember I was in my sort of hippie stage. I had a headband, and I used to have lots of bracelets, and I used to smoke a bit of weed, and I used to go and serve everybody, and it was so cool. And one day they sent me to go and waiter on one particular table, and I did, and they were quite smart and everything. It was pretty cool. And then afterwards, in the newspaper, there was a review. They were the reviewers, and they said we
oh,
were
I
served
see.
by Sandy. She was long on friendly frankness and short on finesse. So those are my farming days.
Oh, lovely. Short on finesse. Oh, dear. Oh, no. And they had to pick those bastards. Damn them with their finesse and everything. Oh, no. But I mean, at the moment, you've got so much on the boil. I mean, your photography, your story sessions in St. Francis. I believe you're doing the story slam sessions. Tell us a little bit about
Story
those.
slam. So it's not my idea at all. I just borrowed it. In fact, I got permission. So 2 years ago, just before lockdown, I was invited to go and tell a story at in Cape Town with a storytelling platform called the Southern Rights and Wrongs. And I love the idea so much. And this is the idea: 5 minutes a story.
Yeah.
It must have happened to you, and it must be true.
Wow.
And they had 10 speakers in Cape Town, so it was 50 minutes. And you have to adhere or to embrace a certain theme. And the theme that I got was a step too far. And I have got a great story for that, which I won't tell you tonight. But I had a great story. And so I drove down to Cape Town to my friend Helen Wills, who invited me to speak at the story. And I loved it so much that I went to them afterwards and I said, I want to bring it to St. Francis. And they were like, sure. So I said, well, how does it work? And they said, well, they'll come up and help me. And they were very enthusiastic. And then we had lockdown. And that was it.
Oh.
And then just now, like about 5 months ago, I suddenly thought, well, we're pretty safe again. So let's start it. So I went to Linky at the brewery, and she had heard about the Southern Rights and Wrongs, and she said, let's do it. So we had our first story slam last month. And our next one's this Thursday at the brewery. And the theme for this one is, how did I end up in this situation? Which is pretty much like how I'm feeling now. But yeah, how did I end up in this situation? So we've got 6 storytellers, starts at 7 o'clock at the brewery. And come and listen if anyone's around.
That sounds fantastic. And it's like a community thing. I love a community thing.
It's lovely. In fact, I've got a friend coming up from Cape Town just to tell the story. And Bella's telling a story.
Oh, Bella also. Oh, fantastic. She'll be good. She's always just she's like a bright, like a big sunlight comes. Wow.
Absolutely.
Whenever I see Bella, I love it. Helen Milson, great to see you. Sandy,
Helen,
come and visit. Where is she from?
Helen's from Cape Town, and Kelly is my niece from Vietnam. Hey, Kelly.
Kelly's in Vietnam. Lorraine Fenton, there's just telling your story for a change. Exactly. Well, this is the whole thing. That you're actually an interviewer, and now you're being interviewed, which is quite fun.
It does feel a little bit odd, I must say.
You used to asking people questions, and all of a sudden you're getting like,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, getting hot behind the neck.
Carrie says she's proud too, very proud.
That's my sister from Canada. There's my other sister. She's
other
trusting
sister,
family. Yeah, you just trust the family.
How many? I met the family. Wendy and Sean, lovely. I think you should get different Facebook profiles. Tim Upwood. Tim has been on as well. And
I know. Tim and I go back years.
Oh, really? At Technicon days?
I didn't study with him, but when I moved to PE, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. No, Tim is fantastic. He was on our show a little while ago, and of course we've known Tim photography. He's the guy
Yeah.
as well. And I couldn't help noticing because I went onto your website and I've seen there's so much going on there as well. It's amazing, Sandy. What you're doing is incredible. And for those of you, I don't know if Gary can maybe put your website in the comments as well for the guys to click on sometime, because those little 5 minutes, what are they called, 5 minutes of your time series?
Oh, 5 minutes of your time. Yeah.
Yes, just tell us about it, because and we can talk about that, because I love that concept.
Yeah, I think one day I was just sitting thinking about something to do because I try and do a personal project every year. And this one was quite a quick one, but I just thought, I wonder what it would happen if I just photographed somebody. I turned my back on them and I had a remote control and they just had to sit for 5 minutes and do nothing. And I pressed the button
Yeah.
as and when. It was quite random. And then I put it together as a
Was it
stop frame
random?
animation. And it was
Yeah.
so interesting the way people spend 5 minutes. It was
Yeah.
lovely. I really enjoyed the project. I want to do more of that actually.
Yeah, because I was going through, and it was fascinating. You find yourself completely hooked in, at these stop animation kind of sort of vibe, And Tim was the most
Yeah.
boring of all of them. He sat
Tim
there
was
and
on
did
it.
nothing.
Exactly. He was very good at that. Yeah.
I just knew he was going to do something weird or different, Oh
Always.
my word! Oh, there he is. Oh, there it is. That's his one.
Hey, Timmy.
That's-
There's
Well,
Timmy.
yes.
Yeah, that's how he looked for the whole time.
That's how he
I
did
don't
it.
think he
Honestly, Tim, we expect more from you, Timothy. I mean, I saw Carl Schumacher there, was amazing as well. He's like up and down. Everybody's on the chair.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
chose my
falling
friends.
over.
Don't worry. I chose my friends.
And so, the photographic community, they obviously stick together quite nicely as well. Oh, there's
Yeah,
Kara.
I mean, I
There's
think that
Kara.
Kara Morgan. Yeah, there she is.
Yes. She's all over the place as well.
Yeah.
But it's
She
fascinating.
moved around a lot. Oh,
She
that's
did move
hilarious.
around a lot. Fidgety, that's what she is. Oh no! But you guys often chat to each other. This Carl
Yeah,
Schumacher
yeah.
is and Kara also is into photography as well. So clearly,
Yeah, I mean,
similar
I
interests.
love that. I think most of my friends are artists or photographers.
Yeah,
I learn so much from them all the time.
yeah. And then so you studied. You obviously at school in KZN.
Yeah.
And then went to varsity, Technikon,
No,
varsity was not
no.
didn't.
No. No. So I was registered to go and do phys ed at Stellenbosch when I left
Oh,
school. And my father came to me and he said, I don't think you should be doing this. And I said, why? And in the history of all mankind, I don't think any father has said this. He said, I don't think you should be going to university. And I said to him, well, why not? And he said, because I don't think you really know what you want to do. And I think that you should spread your wings. And I think you're too restless. So I said, well, I don't know what to do. He says, well, go and do a secretarial course. So I said, okay. He said, because when you travel, you're going to need some skills. And I did that.
yeah.
I went and became a legal secretary, if you can believe it. And then I went and I traveled and I went on a one-way ticket overseas for a year. Sorry, it was a year return. And I ended up staying for 4. So my father was right.
Wow.
I ended up having 4 years of backpacking, falling in love, falling out of love,
Oh my word.
breaking heart, seeing, really great experience for 4 years, I must say.
That's actually quite a thing for a parent to say. He must have
I
known you.
know.
He must have known you very well.
Yeah, I think he was just watching from the sidelines and he realized that, and first of all, I was good at sport, but that doesn't mean to say you're going to be a good sports teacher, right? And I
Yes,
thought I
yeah,
was,
yeah.
and I would have been a shocking teacher. So, but yeah, he was right. And I think he just said to me, which appeals to you, going traveling or going to university? And I was like, hell, I know what I'm going to answer. So when I was let free, I went and I did,
Yes.
I did travel for a long time.
Gee whiz. So, I mean, you are that. You seem to be that kind of free-spirited kind of person. Like I say, with Linky, that's probably why you get along with Linky, because I see Linky being the same sort of person. He also loves traveling.
I love Linky.
And, a bunch of bloody hippies. That's what you are.
Yeah, we are. We're aging hippies. Well, she's not so aging. I am.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And so, I mean, it's traveled then, and like you said, for how many? 4 years, you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
For I worked in between and stuff, but
Okay.
no, those 4 years. No, those 4 years it was together. But before that, I did a few
Okay.
jobs to try and get overseas. So those were not really
Okay.
jobs, but they were just getting
Okay. And
experience.
legal secretary. Are you quite a focused person, or you but ADD or?
Yeah, no, I'm not ADD. I have high
Yeah.
energy and I'm
Yeah.
focused.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I don't think I'm ADD. I never felt the need to take Ritalin.
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, no. I mean, it's like because a lot of creative people are like that. It's almost helps the creatives in terms of like new ideas and new stuff. So you must have elements of that as well. Everybody's on, I
Yeah, yeah,
suppose,
yeah.
on
I'm always on the
that train
lookout.
somewhere.
I'm
Yes.
always looking. So
Okay. Observing.
yeah,
It's kind of like the comedy. With the comedy, we have to do that too. We have to observe a lot as well to
yeah,
check it
yeah.
out.
Get it on
Uh,
Ritalin.
have you got any standout memories from your travels?
Oh, many. Just snapshot visions. I won't give you the story behind it,
Yeah.
but I sang for my supper at a restaurant in Rhodos in Greece. And then I ended up staying there singing, and I lived in a house with a man who'd been convicted of murder. So
Oh,
that's obviously
nice.
the whole story
Oh,
in
your
loves,
dad
but
would have
just a
loved that.
snapshot. I would have loved that job. And then I found myself on a yacht in the West Indies as a cook, and I can't cook. And I lied my way across there to get the job. And then he found out because I broadcasted the plea to my mother. I broadcasted on the Hurricane channel without knowing it, asking my mother for a recipe, and everybody heard it. It was in Montserrat in the West Indies.
On the
My
Hurricane Channel.
fingernails bled when I had to clean furniture in a basement in London. So yeah, there's lots of all that stuff. Everyone goes through that
Jeez, what?
stuff.
Well, you're paying your dues. That's what they call it
Yeah.
in
So
musos.
my father was extraordinary actually, because what I did once was he didn't support me going overseas. I think they bought me the air ticket for my 21st,
Okay.
and then there was no money. And also that was it. But I traveled with some people whose parents were sending them money, right? So I thought I'd try. So I wrote a letter to my dad and I said, Dad, I haven't got a job or anything, and could I please borrow some money? And he's like, I remember 6 weeks till you get a response because it was
Yes.
mail. And he came back to me and he said, my darling Sandy, I'll definitely consider it. But I just need to know, what are you doing to find a job? And yeah, just let me know. Another 6 weeks, I wrote back to him and I said, listen, I have a job, small job. It's not paying very well. And he wrote back and he said, no, you don't need my money.
Oh, that's brilliant. You
Oh,
waited. He knew. He knew
you don't,
exactly what you were doing.
yeah,
You were doing there.
yeah.
Oh my word. And then it's the surfing. I mean, I've met you probably two places. I probably met you with all the surfing that's been going there. Those were your sons, I presume,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and yourself. Do you surf as well yourself?
I started surfing about 6 years ago.
Okay.
My younger brother is a world champion disabled surfer.
Yes,
And
yes, yes, yes. I saw. Is it Anthony?
Anthony, yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
No,
So
incredible.
Anthony,
Olympic team. It was Paralympics as well.
yeah,
It was
so no, not
unbelievable.
the Olympics. He was a South African captain in the and he was a world champ and the US Open champ for stand-up
Okay, okay, okay.
division in
Okay.
disabled surfing. They call it adaptive surfing.
It's
But
basically
he got
he's only one
me,
arm, isn't it? I mean, he's only got one
yeah,
pedal arm. Incredible.
yeah.
I mean, I've
No,
got two arm, big
I
arms,
know,
and I battle. He
I
surfs
know.
the pants off me.
Hmm. And he actually pushed me on my first wave at Hewlett's, yeah.
Oh
And
no
that was
ways.
about 6 years ago. And so then I'm a very scared surfer, but I'll be on a
Okay.
longboard. But then last year I broke my elbow, and so I'm still trying to get that sorted out. So
You didn't break it surfing?
God, no, I wish that would be a great story. No,
Okay.
I broke it chasing monkeys, so I jumped over
Oh,
the table.
okay, okay. Oh dear. Yeah, tell us a little bit. Gary slots up little things for me here. He's saying tell us a little more about the murderer.
Oh, the murderer! Oh, the
Yeah,
person.
tell us
Okay,
that little story.
when I got to Lindos,
Yeah.
and Rhodes on the island of Greece. I mean, one of the Greek islands. I decided that I wanted to stay for the season because it was free. It was easy. I didn't have
Okay.
any commitments. And
Yeah.
then I was looking for a place to stay, and I found this place, and there was this heavily tattooed guy, and he said he has a room for me. It was all cool, and I said he sounded nice, and I said cool, and he was like so many rands or whatever for the month.
Yeah.
And about 4 days after I moved in, the next door neighbor, who happened to be an old woman, she said, "Do you know that he's in for murder? He's just got out. He's finished. He's just got out." So I said, "Who did he murder?" And she said, "No, she didn't say that. She said his wife." So I was like, "Okay." Anyway, I asked him the next day. I said, "Did you murder your wife?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, why?" And he said, because she slept with someone else. So I said, "Okay." Anyway, he turned out to be a really nice guy, and he did his due, and he
Oh,
was very,
okay.
yeah,
Okay, he paid his dues, and he was very sorry that he murdered his wife.
very sorry.
But you didn't do anything to cross him, though.
No, it's very good. I cleaned up the dishes.
Yeah, paid your
Yeah.
rent, you know.
I had my
so
own time.
That's okay. My God, Sandy, did you say he didn't try to murder you or anything? At least then we know.
No.
Oh, good.
Cheers, hey, cheers,
Good.
girls.
Bye, bye, girls. Bye.
They're not mine.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I like this. It's very cool. Life happens. This is what it's all about. Margot Muir says, "Hello, Sans,
Oh,
best portrait
Margot.
photographer that always animates her subjects in Gqeberha." We are incredibly lucky. Yeah, I mean, what is your favorite to do with your photography? Is it portraits? Is it
Oh,
this?
favorite. Yeah, I think that I really like to get to the meat of people. I like to get to the rawness, and I like to get
Yeah.
to the soul of someone. I mean, I think probably the worst shoot that I could do is a fashion shoot.
Really?
And that's not to denigrate what fashion photographers do, because they do incredible technical stuff, and it's an
Yeah.
amazing industry. But for me, I like to get deeper, and I think it comes with age. I think
Yeah.
it comes with wanting just to understand humanity.
Yeah. Because I see that in all your stuff. You like to go into your subject. You like to. You don't just take a photo of somebody. You've got to get to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah,
approach it with all
I
your
run these
stuff then.
projects, and I love them. I mean, the one that I really loved doing was in 2010, where I interviewed, I can't remember, maybe 20 people in Port Elizabeth, and
Yes.
Tim also was in that one,
Yes.
and Margaret's husband Andrew, and it was just questioning people about certain questions. I mean, about certain things in their lives. The questions were, what is God? What happens when you die? How would you spend your last 24 hours? What triggers you? Yeah, I mean, just how would you describe your life in one word? How would you describe yourself in 3 words? What moves you emotionally? I carried that theme through to a couple of further projects. And actually, what I'm doing now is I'm doing that corporately. So,
Okay.
and that's been fantastic.
Oh, there we go. Face to face. Is that the
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
Oh, there we
yeah.
go.
There's Bruce.
All the
Yeah,
guys. That's amazing. Yeah. Andrew Muir
Barry
as well.
Wilson. Yeah,
I see Bruce Cadle there. That's
yeah,
fab. He's such a legend. Bully.
yeah,
And
yeah.
oh
And
wow,
there was
man.
that. Remember that beggar at in the middle there, Darren Stan. He was the beggar that used to
Yes.
stand 5 ways, just before you turn
Oh no
into grass.
ways. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I sat with him
Yeah,
and
that's
his
incredible.
other guys. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sat with him on the side of the road there, and I interviewed him.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
amazing. Actually. He's actually got clean and sober and living in Joburg, as far as I know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you often wonder about these guys, that they
Yeah,
stand there
I keep track
and you
them. I
wonder
must say.
what gets them eventually into that spot. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about. I mean, in essence, sometimes what I try and do here as well on the show is to not always get the celebs and the guys that are that are out in there, but you want to. I'm trying to get the guys that are really good to get their heads down and working. And I started with like an entrepreneurial thing where trying to get the guys in, and I see that it's a similar thing with you. You're interested in what's going on in that person's mind,
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah. I mean, you talk about Harvey Tyson. There he is. So
Yeah.
he was the editor of the Star in the apartheid era. He's an amazing,
Okay.
amazing human being. He's subsequently passed away, but I remember driving out to Hermanus to go for this particular interview, and we ended up having a few drinks and chatting, and I'm very close to his daughter and his sons. And when I said to him, what is your ritual in the morning? What do you do? And he said, I'm a writer and I'm a thinker. And I get up every morning and I open a book and I close my eyes and I dip my hand or my finger onto, and whatever that sentence is, I then write about for 10 minutes. How
Sure.
amazing is that?
Yeah, that's
So
so,
that was him at 90. So he was eternally curious. That's amazing.
yeah, and just also stay creative. I
Yeah.
wonder if that's the secret to trying to keep your brain going. At
Yeah.
an
He
advanced
was just doing
age.
something he loves. I don't think he was trying to do anything. I just think he did what he loved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I see. Michael Brock. I don't know these guys. A lot of the guys here, but that's amazing. So you traveled around the country doing that.
And this one was actually for Fair Lady magazine. They asked me to go and find a few good men, and then I had to try hard. No, I didn't. I
Yeah.
found them.
Get a few good men. I see there's all sorts there. A woman is it over 40?
No, so this particular project was around. I did something on disability, and I used an old camera. You can see the rebate. It was one of those cameras that you have to put over your head, and that
Yes.
thing.
Okay. Oh wow. Yes. I
that
saw
thing,
Tim
yeah.
using one of those.
Yeah. So Tim, yeah. So this was in my final year of studying, and so I only studied when I was 40, and I finished when I was 44, I think. And this was my final year project, which I chose to use an old-fashioned camera and bring it into from analog to digital printing. But the actual dots that you see on the top there it's called a rebate. It just shows that
Yes.
you've used a proper Polaroid.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was on disability. So what I did here was I invited people who had disabilities.
Yes.
And then I got them to describe what it was like to live with it. And then I got a doctor or a specialist to describe exactly what it is. So I went from clinical to emotional, and in the middle, their portrait.
Wow. Wow, that's incredible. So you really, that's fascinating what you do. I mean, you've got and who comes up with these concepts? I mean, do you is it do you just think about the stuff yourself and think what am I going to do? Get help with it? Do you
do what interests me? Some days I wake up and I go, I'm interested in that, so I'm going to do a project on it, or I'm going to, yeah. I mean, I think it's really, I'm just eternally curious, and I just really want to know what's going on. I can't imagine not engaging with life in that way. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine just observing. I have to get in.
Okay. So it's got your personality type, curious.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm sure. And that's the life coaching as well. I see you also doing a bit of life coaching stuff too.
Yeah, I am actually. Also, I suppose it's a continuation of my curiosity around people, and I did that a few years ago. And so they sit very well side by side, and I enjoy coaching. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's new.
Also, so that, and you definitely you've got a lot of empathy in your soul there. Living in St. Francis. So do you stay there permanently, or you come to PE? Or?
No, I try not to come to. No, I'm only joking. I live. We moved 4 years ago when our children left school, and then we didn't have a reason to be there. And David, my husband, he commutes, so he could be from anywhere. And we thought, well, we should go and live somewhere that's going to be good for all of us. So we love the ocean. David loves to cycle, so it kind of fitted all the boxes. And the kids were just so happy to get 6312 as their postal code. So we now live.
Oh no! Well, let's just do some comments while we got them here, so we don't forget. Judy Glendinning saying, "How's it?
Hey,
good to see you."
Hi.
Michael and I watching from Joburg. Excellent. Peter Ogilvie.
Peter Ogilvie. Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Great to see you in your story. The Ogilvies, is that the same Ogilvies as the Neil Thompson and the Grey bunch, Grey High School bunch? I'm not sure. I see Anthony's here as well. Fantastic. I've saw how many doozy canoe marathons have you finished Sandy,
Oh my
how many?
God, none. And let me tell you why he's asking that.
Wow. So your brother knows what the
Ah.
story is.
So, I tried to do the doozy with a partner that I didn't really. I was paddling quite a lot in Joburg. I lived in Joburg and I worked for Mnet.
Okay.
And I tried to, get onto a
Paddle.
canoe. And anyway, eventually I ended up doing the doozy with a partner that I had never met before. Well, I had met him like 2 weeks
Oh.
before. My original partner got typhoid. So we were in the boat together.
Oh, you just seem to have a bad omen again around you and your paddling. Freaking
And,
typhoid. I mean,
and we
could have been
ended
a
up,
cold.
no, it was typhoid. Look, only,
Well,
sorry,
then
the reason why he got typhoid was because we had done the 50 miler, which is the qualifying race for the doozy. So, and it's a
Oh,
Sif
crap.
river. Anyway, so
Sif River. Okay.
and when you paddle, there aren't signs to say this is this rapid and that rapid. And in the little handbook, it says do not shoot this rapid called Graveyard. And like,
Oh,
I'm not
we're
shooting
called
that.
graveyard for nothing.
No. And of course, we didn't know which is Graveyard or which is Little John or whichever, and straight in, and we
Hey.
crashed the boat.
Oh,
And my brother was actually photographing. Anthony's also a photographer, my brother, this one.
okay.
And
Yes.
he was photographing the doozy. And his story is that 10 Ks from the end, he was busy waiting for everybody to come through. And somebody said to him, there's a double in trouble a few kilometers up. So he started driving because he wants to get nice pictures of people in trouble.
Yes.
And
Oh,
as one
nice,
does.
Anthony, trying to find the
yeah.
accidents.
Drama.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And he came around the corner and saw someone dangling from a helicopter. And it was me. But when he only found out when he looked through the viewfinder. And so, yeah, I never finished the doozy. We wrapped our
Hey,
boat.
that's my sister on the helicopter.
Yeah, that's why he's asking.
Oh my word! No, that is hectic, Anthony. That is and not really good form to go and try and look for them for the
Drama.
bad
no,
news.
we chase it, don't worry.
Chase
Well,
the ambulance chasers. That's what they are. Meryl Thompson saying, "What a superstar,"
Aw,
and Wendy and Sean saying,
Oh.
"Cooking."
yeah, something I
There
can't
we
do.
go.
Oh, Megan.
Megan
Thank
Stowe. Who's that? Who's Megan Stowe?
You know the stars. You know Alan Tavner.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Megan,
Oh, I see. Okay.
Thomas' wife, mother.
And I see Linda Woodhead's on here as well.
Oh,
I love
fantastic.
Linda.
Hello, Linda.
She's got a
This is
history.
such
We're
a
still
cool
going to find
idea.
you,
Look,
Linda.
Linda,
We're going to
keep down
find you. Yeah, because Linda's got good history about about Dodd's Farm. I want to hear all about Dodd's Farm. Do you know the Dodd's Farm stories?
Yeah.
That she was a Dodds. I think in her family was a Dodds the family. I think they had the big reunion on, and so I want to find out what that was all about. And she says, "Lovely to see you there." And
Yeah.
I see when he says, "Love the show." That's good.
She has to.
That's
She's my other sister.
okay. Lovely. And James, talk about that media degree from NMMU.
I think he's referring to the fact that I started studying when I was 40. I finally got my
Oh.
degree. Yeah.
Did you? Oh, okay.
So, and
ma-
I was 40 years old and I went to register to do photography was then the Technicon. And Bruce
Yes.
Cadle was the head of
Lecturer.
department. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
head of department.
And Ethna.
And Ethna, yeah,
Yes.
I'll tell you a story about Ethna. And I was standing in line to pay my registration, and there were two guys behind me talking about the photography. So I turned around and I said, "Are you also registering for photography?" And I was 40, and they were 18. And they looked at me and they said, "Are you here with your son?" And I said, "I'm here to study." And those 3 years in a dark room, because we were still analog, those 3 years in a dark room with those young people was perhaps the greatest education I got. Yes, I learned technicality. I learned how to print and how to expose and how to, but the greatest learning was from them. And I'm still friends with so many of them today.
Oh man, yeah. My mom actually did the same thing when I was in matric. She was going to tech, and it might have been the same
Oh, wow.
kind of time.
How old's your mother? I'm 60. How old's your mother?
No. She's real long gone already.
Oh, sorry.
She started 64. That was 2011. So it
Oh,
was she might have had 10, 12 years on you, but she was still starting late. And she also studied with Bruce and everything, but she was doing printmaking. But also the same similar situation where it rejuvenates you because you're working with these young people that are so full of life, you know.
I loved it. I mean, I had 2 children. They're age 2 and 3, and I used to go to the dark room, and then and David, my husband, is like, Sandy, we have a whole like normal life here, and then you'd like go off and behave like an 18-year-old. Like, we survived it.
It's lovely. It's lovely. And oh, there we go. Oscar, she drew information out of my son losing his virginity. It took her 30 seconds. you know how to do this stuff, Sandy. Clearly.
So I went to stay with my friend Lizzie in London, and she has unbelievable sons. She's the only girl in her family. She has 3 sons and a husband. And I went to stay with her, and we had this bride, but I think we started drinking early. And by 6:30, her son came with all these beautiful friends. And Lizzie had to go and take a call or something. And by the time she came back, I had got the story from every one of them how they'd lost their virginity. And let me tell you that they did not even flinch when I asked them. Because I was like, how are you guys about sex? And they were like, oh, no, we like sex a lot. I said, okay, well, when was your first experience? And they did not flinch. I promise you, Gino. People want to tell you. Anyway, Lizzie came back. We were talking about the weather. And when she came back from her call, we were talking about virginity.
Sex. That's a winner. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to try my. Oh, look at that, Heinz Stefan.
Any inanimate photography. Do you mean, do I do still life?
Still life, maybe.
Yeah, I do
That's
a lot
Heinz
of that. I do a lot of houses, actually.
Houses, okay.
Yeah. Although houses are personalities too. So when I walk into a house to shoot, I go, what are you going to tell me and who are you? And then the house will always speak back to me.
Okay. I like that. I like Heinz was our head boy in Clarendon Park when I was in standard 3 or something.
We've also got a head girl. We've also got a head girl in our family, Carolyn, who's in Pointe de Mita at the moment. Yeah, she was head girl. She's still head girl of our family.
Joy Stradom says, Sandy, you're a legend as well. Look at all her sons or whatever. There's big family there. Bella saying, Sands, you're awesome. Tell them about Davey and I climbing.
Kagura. I'm going to tell you the story. So
only if appropriate. Everything's appropriate on here, Bella. There's no rules on the interweb.
So Bella and I lived opposite each other in Church Road in Warmer. And
love it.
my husband.
Which avenues?
At Church, of course.
No, which avenues?
9th and 10th.
9th and 10th. Okay, lovely. I'm getting it. I'm getting the picture.
11, but she was crawling distance.
Triple story there at 9th and then goes on yes or no. Beautiful.
So I used to go to Bella's a lot. Bella and I became good friends, and my husband had gone to climb Aconcagua the year before, but he didn't summit because he wasn't fit enough. And we went for lunch at Bella's and Bryce's, and David and I were like, and we got onto, we had a few to drink, and then David was like, I want to climb this mountain again, and Bella's like, I'm in. We said, okay. Anyway, so I can't climb because I have asthma, and Bryce, would never. So, because, yeah. So
the 2 of them.
The next day, Bella arrives with their check, and before we know it, David and Bella are walking up Target Kloof without their magazines in the back of their backpacks. They're training for Aconcagua. It's the highest mountain peak in South America. So they had to train hard. So they were seen in public, walking up and down,
up and down.
It's called Target Kloof.
Between Water Road and Short Road. Up
no,
and down
Water
the
Road
hill.
and Grey. So
up to the top. Okay.
Anyway, one day I get a call and she goes, hi, is that Mrs. Coffey? I said, yeah. She says, it's Mrs. Anonymous speaking. Like, geez, I'm a legend. She says, I just want to share some worries. So I said, go right ahead. So she said, I'm worried that your husband and Bella are going climbing together. So I said, oh, okay. What is your worry? And she said, I'm worried that something might happen. I said, well, like what? She says, I'm worried that they're going to spend a lot of time with each other and they might have an affair. So I'm like, okay. So I first ascertained she wasn't a gossiper. I think she was really concerned. So I made that assessment very quickly.
All
So
right.
my tone changed. So I said, Mrs. Anonymous, I understand and thank you. But what I would like to say is that people have affairs behind the warmer library in a car. They don't have an affair up in
The
Aconcagua, which
mountain.
is 6,000, and you haven't bathed for 3 weeks. That's very unattractive. And she said, okay, but I'm worried. Are they going to be sharing a tent? I said, Mrs. Anonymous, they're going to be sharing a sleeping bag. It's -40. Otherwise, they're going to die. So she said, okay, I just wanted you to know. So I said, okay, thanks very much. I put the phone down and I phoned Bryce. I said, Bryce, you won't believe this call. Yes, suffice to say, Bryce and Bella and David and I are really close friends. And David and Bella went and they didn't summit because they got snowed in, but they had the most
Okay.
amazing experience.
Yes.
And it was just a cementing of our friendship, actually.
Yes, no, fantastic. Oh, I was going to say the warmer library. I like that. I like that. We have to ask Camilla Ellis. Camilla Ellis, do you see
Yeah,
a lot of
behind the
people?
wall library.
Yes. Do you see a lot of people bonking behind the warmer library? It's the new place of romance next to the bicycle track. There we go. I love it. Oh my God. Let's somebody. So you swingers have a kind of a different vibe from the rest of us, you know,
We're
as
not
well. That's
swinging
fine.
anywhere. Yeah.
All right, Liz Watters. Is it Liz Watters?
Liz Waters.
Watters.
Oh,
Watters. True
that's
Gift is
true.
not doctoring your photos for anyone. You don't doctor your photos.
Yeah, that's a hard line to. If I'm shooting commercially and portraits, then
Yes,
I
then you
obviously
have
will
to.
because that's for different. But if I'm shooting my own projects, like
Yeah.
I've shot Lizzie before, and many other people
Mm,
may be listening, is that I
yeah.
really, really don't want to be that because it's like having a facelift.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
It's got
So
to be real. It's got to be you.
yeah, for me, it's and people ask, they say, "Can you take away some wrinkles?" And I, yeah.
Yeah.
Because actually, ultimately, for my philosophy is like, geez, I've got wrinkles too and whatever. But
Yeah. Yeah.
sure, I don't know. It goes
Yeah.
against my grain not to be honest
Yes.
in
No.
my
No.
photography.
Absolutely. Robbie Elam is a surfer. Is that not right? I
He's
think
a
greetings from.
fantastic photographer. He is
Yes.
a brilliant, brilliant photographer.
I
Robbie,
think
I
I've
love
seen
your
some
work.
of Robbie's stuff.
Yeah.
And at J-Bay, you've got to be taking pictures a lot of surfing as well.
And there's
Mandy
my
Peacock.
cousin, Mandy Peacock. How's it, Mans?
Excellent. Your cousin. Have you got a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
family?
Oh, yeah, big family. Big, brash, wild family.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And I mean, how do you balance this sort of art and financial thing? You're talking about like companies and corporates and that. I mean, I think I probably met you at the corporates when you're walking around doing
Probably, yeah.
photos
Yeah.
for different clients. I mean, there's the art and the money all the time. Same with music.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Any artist.
Yeah,
I think, I worked I did about 10 years of photography for Volkswagen. And in that tenure, I had the most extraordinary experiences of my life. I met Neil Armstrong,
whoa,
thanks to Mark Lendenning, and I think he's watching, and Kathleen Booth. And I mean,
yeah,
I heard Jonathan Jansen speak, and I subsequently drove to Bloemfontein to go and interview him. And
wow,
going back to your question, I think every shoot is an opportunity for art. So, yeah, I do my own projects. But like when I was shooting for Kathleen and I she used to employ me to go and photograph the golf days at Volkswagen. And I used to give what she wanted, and then I used to do what I wanted and still give her those images. And I'd say, but
yeah.
this is what I've done. And she
Okay,
would love
I
it.
love that.
So
Yes,
I used that experience to increase my own skill. So we also
yeah,
went and photographed the Polo launch at Sun City for Volkswagen. There were four photographers. It was massive. They had like 10 bands, including Kelly Clarkson and the
yo,
boy band. I can't remember the boy band's name. No, anyway,
Backstreet Boys.
no. And it was just an extraordinary evening. It was just huge and big.
Yeah,
And so you get what the client wants, and
yeah.
then you push yourself further.
Okay,
So
get
I
some more stuff.
can't tell you that I separate it. I don't separate my art with my commercial work. It's all one.
Okay. All right. It's just on a spectrum. Everything's on a spectrum, I suppose.
Yeah, it is.
Because
And if I
I
don't
like the way you
use
said that.
if I don't use a shoot to improve myself, well, then it's just boring.
Yes. Yeah, you got to push your
Yeah.
boundaries and your limits and things. And
Yeah.
I think I do the same for voice. Somebody asks me for a voiceover for a
Yes.
clip or a something. You'll do one like you think they want it, and then you'll do one like you like it. Whichever one
Exactly.
they'll take.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. 100%.
And then which other photographers do you respect and why?
Love.
Yeah.
Um,
What's the guys you
I
love?
have to say that, and I'm not just saying it because he's
Yeah.
watching and listening, but there are two photographers that are watching and listening at the moment who I admire enormously. One is Tim Hopwood,
Yeah.
and I've always admired his work, and I love his rawness and his ability to see things that other people don't see, and his technical ability and his slowness and his gentleness.
Yeah.
He's an extraordinary photographer. And the other person is my brother, who I think is underrated. He is I learn from him every single time I'm with him. He opens my eyes, he opens my soul, and he opens my life. And that then becomes, for me, making me a better photographer.
Yeah.
Famous photographers would probably be Anna Leibovitz, David Goldblatt, the big heavies who I draw inspiration from every day. And then obviously the new millennials. I just find them, they're not technically astute because they don't have to be, because cameras will do that. But they are brave and they are unbelievably wild and they push boundaries. And so I spend a lot of time observing their work and feeling like I can be braver. So they inspire me.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's amazing. Because like you say, the international guys, it's the same with the music. The international guys, they inspire you in a different kind of way. But when you're talking about local people, then you get to know them well, and you get to know it's immediate response with them, and that they can help create. I love that too.
I also love that I can pick up the phone and say to Tim, explain that photograph. I mean, I can't do that with those big heavies, and they're just so far away from the accessibility. But I love that. I love that I'm friends with Tim and Anthony and Margot, and they're great photographers.
Yeah. What's the most bizarre shoot that you've ever done?
Oh, interesting. It was a wedding.
Really?
And it was interesting because of what happened at the wedding. So it was a big wedding. My brother Anthony and I were shooting it together. And I think the whole thing turned sour when we heard that the dress cost 60,000 Rand. And then we got to the reception. We saw our sandwiches with cheese. And they were eating lobsters downstairs. So we were already turned. I just want to put it out there. When you have, like, Volkswagen used to look after me, have a good meal for your photographer, Anyway, but that's not the point.
They pay you, and the less you charge them, the less they respect you. It's like,
and they think that you're not hungry. They think you're not hungry. Anyway,
I know,
that didn't happen with Volkswagen. Let me tell you, they treated me like gold. But this particular wedding, Anthony and I were shooting together, and then kind of like there was something off, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And after the official wedding pictures and before the reception, I went to go and find my bag, my photography bag, which was behind, in a little room. I always find a little room to keep my stuff. And I walked in and I opened the door, and there was the bride, and she had her shirt down, and the best man was busy with her.
Oh, right. Nice.
And she was half naked, the best man, and the groom was waiting to do the speech. And I just remember, I think, like, they saw me, that I knew them, and they knew that I knew that you knew that. I just like my stuff, and I just disappeared. And I went upstairs to my brother, and I said, "Listen, you won't believe what I've just seen." And he's like, "That's it, I'm done. Sandwiches and that, no more pictures."
I'm out.
Anyway, I did carry on shooting, but that marriage didn't last more than 3 months. Yeah, so that was probably kind of, but
it's gone. No, they should have gone to Kilimanjaro and got on with whatever they needed.
They should have Aconcagua, yeah, exactly.
Yes, Aconcagua, yeah. They could have done that. Oh no. That's it's actually another question just after that, saying which is the job that you wished you could just pack up and leave, but that would be both of them.
No, that would be a different job, but yeah. No.
And the most interesting person you've ever photographed?
Sure, there's so many.
And it's interesting that I can say that because the fact that you get into the person means that
Mm.
you really do get to know them, you know?
There've been so many interesting people, but I think perhaps one of the most impactful. Oh, let me just think about this that I don't do a disservice.
That's right.
Uh,
We won't fact check you afterwards. It's
Okay,
fine.
no,
You can,
no, I'll give
yeah.
you a story that's really interesting that'll lead into what changed me and my thinking about South Africa was when I
Yeah.
photographed at Volkswagen. I was introduced to Jonathan Jansen, and then he gave a speech at the event, and
He's an amazing guy.
yeah, and so I tweeted him, and I said about 2 days later, and I said, "Hi, I'd like to meet you and interview." And he came back to me. He said, "Well, can you be in Bloemfontein on Friday, whatever?" And my brother-in-law and I decided we would drive up to Bloemfontein. It's a long way to Bloemfontein.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's
we drove
five and
all
a
the way
half
up to
hours.
Bloemfontein, Brian and I got a slot with him. And as I walked
Wow.
in, he said, "Which publication are you from?" And I said, "No, I'm just for me." And he said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from PE." And he said, "You drove all the way just to," I said, "Yeah." He said, "You'll be very disappointed." I said, "No, I don't think I will." Anyway, I asked him a series of questions and he was absolutely fantastic. And the very last question I asked him was, I said, "Okay, I've got what I want, but what I really want to know is a personal question. I've got two sons and I want to know about South Africa and what should I do? I'm a white South African and,
Yeah.
like, what's going on? What about South Africa?" And he leant back, and he's a very big man. And he leant back in his chair, and it was like 30 seconds. And he leant forward and he grabbed my hands and he held them, and he's got big hands. And he said, "What I would tell someone like you is to have a cold shower, to get some perspective, and wherever you can give back in South Africa, that's what's going to keep us going, is where people who can give back do
Yeah.
give back." And I remember thinking, that's an astounding answer. When he said, "Have a cold shower and get some perspective," and he said, "This is your birthright, this is your land, this is your place."
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Brian and I told Brian, and we drove back another 8 hours back, and it was just quite a life-changing moment. I just thought, now here was this man, he's like in demand, he was, and he gave me the best advice.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So,
we so need something like that as well. You know, people do
yeah, yeah,
get like thinking, what the hell are we going to do? What is going on? Where's this world going? Where do we
yeah,
fit in? You know, where do I fit in? I'm a white
yeah,
male, but I'm flipping
yeah,
50. What the hell? You know, everything. You so needs inspiration like that because it's going to be fine. It's going to be cool. I've got such hope for PE, for Gqeberha, man. We have got such a lekker place around here.
a new
I mean,
name and everything.
yeah, we got a lekker name now and everything. But I mean, no, PE. If I come down from the Western Cape, if you're driving down, those little dorpies that are all exploding into life, you know,
No, there's stuff going on.
Prince Albert and all the places as you come down the coast, and even St. Francis is fantastic. It's PE is gonna be there. We're gonna get the vibe. We're gonna get the vibe. It's gonna be cool. You know, we gotta just hang in there. And I don't know what's going to happen with his election story either. No, there's no promises. But
There's a lot of beauty and uncertainty.
yes, there is, there is. But we'll see, we'll see. I'm like, let's go, man. I don't care who's in power. Let's make it happen. Because if the people do it, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. We just go. All right.
Mm.
So now the storytelling section. I just want to touch on that as well.
Oh, yeah,
So I mean, you've always you described yourself as a storyteller,
yeah,
as well. I see,
I am.
and
Yeah.
as a yeah, you like that, and like you say, you like to grab it and get it out of people too. You know, you've got a way. Is it your superpower?
I think my superpower is curiosity,
Yeah.
and it's
Okay.
what you
So
do
yeah,
with that makes the difference, I think. Yeah. I don't know if I have a
and
superpower. I think everyone's curious, actually. I don't think I'm any different.
no, I think that it requires a listening ear as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and because you're interested in people, I mean, have you you provide these different platforms on
Oh,
that
yeah.
you've done for them
Yeah.
to do as well over
Well,
the
the
years.
Story Slam is one, but the other one that I started a few years ago was a thing called Dare to Share, where
Yeah.
I live interviewed in a small restaurant in an intimate environment, which I wanted to simulate as a sort of lounge or dining room table,
Yeah.
where I got two opposite ends of the spectrum. So, for example, and Wendy, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but my sister Wendy and her son Hilton. Hilton was an addict, and my
Yes.
sister was the mom. And
Yes.
I interviewed them both about the perspectives of being and living, being an addict and living with an addict. So it brought everything down to a much more serious
Yes.
platform. And I think that those stories need to be told. I think that it's incredibly vital that we tell hard stories, that we tell raw stories, because in today's world with filters and Instagram, it's so easy to gloss over what's real. So my outtake and my desire for Dare to Share was to be able to offer conversation, raw,
Yeah.
easy, no, sorry, raw and difficult conversations.
Yeah.
And so, and my first question to my sister was, when did you know your son was an addict? And she said, when he was 19. And I asked Hilton, when did you think you were an addict? And he said, when I was 5. So,
Well,
and none of it's rehearsed, by the way.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the other one that I did was with Nikki Stewart and with Lynn
Yes.
Neubert, and it was around
Yes.
body dysmorphia and
Yeah.
about eating disorders. And I
Yes.
always have a
Yes.
doctor on hand to give a medical perspective if we need it.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I really want to do more Dare to Shares because I want my brother, who's a disabled surfer, and what he's done is he's
Yeah.
bought Nolan Tandu from Kailicha, and he's taken her to the world champs, and she got a silver medal. So I want them
Wow.
to talk about their journeys as disabled people.
Yeah.
So for my Dare to Share, I'm really looking to anchor it down with real life that you can walk away with and go, I learned a bit more about that, and I'm more tolerant.
Yeah. But it takes. I mean, for you, it says a lot about you as well, in terms of you're not scared to hit those subjects and to hit those difficult topics.
Yeah.
People in general, and I've been guilty as well of just like or want everything to be happy all the time, and
Yeah.
over positive maybe.
Yeah.
Whereas you're more of a realist.
Well, I think I just want to share that we're all normal, that
Yeah.
it's okay to go through shit,
Yeah.
everybody does.
As soon as somebody hears that people have shared things on the show as well before, where if people hear it and then they message me and say I just needed to hear that, and
Yeah.
it's made such a
You never
difference.
know where it's going to land.
Yeah, yeah.
You never know.
And it's just one person out there that's thinking like, geez, like that's exactly what it's like. I thought I was alone, and I'm not alone anymore. It's like it gives that glimmer. I think. I
Yeah,
don't know what
it
you
also
think.
gives a sense of unity that you're not in this alone. That there
Yeah.
is support, and that different. Nobody. I remember someone in my family went through some stuff, and he said to me, "Everyone has a crisis. Everyone
Yeah.
has one, and that's just being human."
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. All right, so we're going to hit a couple of getting to know you questions now, Sandy.
Oh,
You're going to see
geez.
for yourself. This has also been getting to know you, but we're going to do a couple of these ones that we've set here as well. Let's have a look at the getting to know you section. Before we do that, we're going to do. We're going to do a draw for all the people that are watching at the moment. We're going to do a quick lucky draw to see who wins the case of Fitch and Leeds. I normally play a song afterwards, but tonight we're going to do like a so we can both watch it. So it's quite fun. So I think Gary's got it going on here. Let's see. There we go. How's this? It's a lucky draw. The person whose name comes up wins the case of Fitch and Leeds. And yeah, so it's all and also all the people that have commented. So make your comments now. Should we give them 2 minutes if anybody hasn't already? Now, comment now. We're going to do the draw. Excellent. Do the draw. So I think we can do a countdown. 4, 3, 2, comment quickly. 1. All right, so we're back. Did Bella win that? Oh, excellent. I think we
Bella
just
won
have
it.
to, every now and again, we have to fix our sound, which goes a bit funny. Bella, well done, Bella. Jolly good. Where is Bella? Is she still in Warmer these days?
She's in Warmer
Or
and
is she,
St. Francis.
oh, she does bits in both. Next to the golf course. That lovely little place next to the golf. I love it. I love it. Oh man. Okay. So now we're doing the getting to know you section over here, and which we have to play the little music for. There at the top, Gary. There we go.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
All right. The craziest, most out of character thing you've ever done.
Probably parachuting when I was 18. And I forged my dad's signature to do it. Actually, I was just before I was 17, so I needed my dad's signature, so I forged it.
You know, the conniving and scheming that goes along with these hippies. You know? The strangest superstitions. That you have any superstitions or rituals?
Yeah, if I put something on the wrong way around, I won't wear it. I'll take it off.
Really?
If it's inside
So
out,
you don't
yeah.
put it on. It
Yeah.
didn't work the first time. My feng shui was like out,
Done.
gone.
I don't know why.
I don't know. It's really, honestly, Sandy.
Honestly,
the
I'm
most
60, I should know better.
the most nervous that you've ever been.
Probably just before this.
No, really.
No, probably just before I did that skydive.
Okay, yeah, no, that's quite hectic. I don't bungee jump or skydive. That's not my scene. I can't. I just wouldn't be able to do it. Have you got any obsessions over the years?
My obsession is around surfing in the ocean.
Okay. You like that's drawn. You're drawn to it. I
Totally.
love it. I love it. I also like that fan you got going. It's like a fashion shoot.
No, it's open window. It's an open window.
Oh, is
yeah.
it? Oh, it's
No, no fan.
So it's like I thought maybe he set it up purposely. It's like
No.
I'm Heather Locklear,
No.
or whatever. Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm liking the look of Gino's spot
Okay,
tonight. It's
I'll just
looking
keep
great
on
with the
doing my
hair blowing in the wind. Fantastic. Something that you own that you truly cherish.
A stinkwood yellowwood table that my ex-boss at Mnet gave me for 500 rand.
Wow. Mnet. Oh, yes, you worked at Mnet. What is that about?
Oh,
Advertising.
I was in advertising, yeah.
And so I mean, just nationally or?
10 years, yeah. I was there from before it started broadcasting to when it launched to satellite, yeah.
Okay. And
Well, short
doing.
skirts and court shoes. No, not quite, but
Did you toe that corporate line?
I did.
Oh my goodness. Everybody in those days, everybody wanted to be in that corporate. The guys just wanted to wear their suits, and the girls wanted to wear their pencil skirts. And I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'm just so not corporate now, but I can
No,
get
me
into
too.
it.
Oh
I can
God,
play
yeah,
that
me
game
too.
though. I think I could do it. I could do it. Your biggest splurge.
I bought an iPad recently.
It's not really a splurge. I'm just telling
It
you.
was for me. It was a top of the rank iPad.
It's like
I don't really need a lot. I did need
I'm going to
that.
say like a car or something.
Oh no, shit! I've got a car.
Your house in St. Francis. That's quite a splurge.
Yeah, there was a splurge actually, but I mean that's for my family. But
No,
the
that's
iPad
life.
for me, yeah.
Okay. So that's just like unnecessary,
No,
ridiculous
very necessary.
expenditure. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's not a splurge then. It's got to be like something that's ridiculous.
There's some sunglasses that I bought the other day that have got lenses. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, you see that and the fan that you've got blowing on you now. That would have been. What's the most physically painful thing that you've ever experienced?
That doozy, without a
Oh.
doubt.
Did you hit your head or what? Did you?
No, the
break
first
your-
day you run 20 kilometers with the boat because it's
Oh,
dry. There's no riverbed. No, without a doubt. I'll never do that again.
so you carried your boat for 20? How much? 20 k's, and
20
then
kilometers on the first day.
Jesus, and
That's true.
then
What was
you
I
broke
thankful?
it.
and then we
And
broke
then you
it.
broke it in the rapids. Honestly, Sandy, that wasn't a good experience at all. What's the coldest you've ever been?
Um, coldest I've ever been is on a bus to Scotland from London, where we left when it was pretty okay, and we got to Scotland, it was -4, and I didn't have the clothing, so I was the most freezing. I remember that distinctly.
It's completely the opposite to what happened to us. We decided we're going to the Europe, so we got our
Oh,
Makoti
oh,
things
and
from
you were hot.
Utnag. Those jackets, those big jackets that look like sleeping bags, and they're huge jackets. And we got them. And we got on the plane to London, and we got into Heathrow. And the guy says, as we walked by, "Where are you lot going? North Pole?"
Yeah, exactly. No, we were the opposite. Freezing, freezing.
We were overdoing it completely. Oh no. What would you say is the biggest accomplishment in your career so far,
My
according to you?
career.
Yeah.
Whew, I think landing the job of my dreams with some big corporates, doing the work that I love, which is interviewing and
Yes.
photographing them for corporate. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Is where somebody recognized the need to get personal with their staff.
It's the recognition, though, as well for
Yeah,
yourself that they're prepared to take it to
yeah,
you and say, "This is our precious
yeah.
thing. Can you
Yeah,
make
and,
it
and,
work?"
and they all three of those corporate jobs came from friends who knew my work. So I had to go through tender processes and all that. So I don't think it was
Okay.
nepotism,
Yeah.
but the idea, they said, well, why don't we get Sandy to come and photograph and interview our staff so we can introduce them to the other staff members.
Yes.
So that's been an accomplishment for me, that somebody recognized that there was a need for that.
Yeah. 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 No, that's amazing. I love it. What's the oldest thing you own,
Sure.
Davey?
Sure. What's the oldest thing I own? Jeepers, I don't actually know.
Certainly not the iPad.
No, it's very new. Probably a ring that my mother gave me that was my grandmother's.
Okay. Okay. Those rings and things. I often think to myself, like it was so important. I don't know if it's just me, but those, like buying a ring now or something just seems like not as important as it was 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Uh,
the, the old things that you have is different. They have different meaning because it's your grandmother's and you
yeah,
love your
yeah.
grandmother and it
Yeah,
reminds you. But
yeah, it's
yeah,
nostalgic
like
stuff, I
jewelry,
guess.
I don't know what's happened to the jewelry market if it's still going strong. I just don't know.
I think it
Um,
is with millennials, yeah.
Yeah. Are there any bucket list items you still want to fulfill?
Yeah, I'd love to go to Antarctica. I'd love
Oh,
to go to Antarctica. I think
well, I
that
got a
that's.
jacket for you.
Oh, yes, you have the Makoti. I'll take it. Um,
I'll lend
I
you my
think that I've
jacket.
still got one big trip in me, like
Yeah.
a photography-driven adventure.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure where, but I feel like I've still got 3 months of going somewhere and shooting. I think I've got
Yeah.
that in me. I'd love to do that.
I think you look fit enough. You'll be fine. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
You've got still a few summers left.
Oh God, I hope so.
That's what you'll know. I don't know if you know the Andersons or Ryan Anderson. He often comes out and
Yeah.
surfs. And his dad, is it John? I can't remember his dad's name, but his dad's always out there with him, and he always says, "My wife, son, I haven't got many summers left." It's like,
Yeah,
Dad,
I
you've
always
taken the
think,
last 5.
I, I always think like I've got 20 good summers left. How am I going to spend them? What
Yeah,
am I going to take through from my 50s to my 60s? What am I going to
I
leave
know.
behind and what am I going to take through? I've got 20
Yeah,
good summers, if I'm lucky.
it's crazy. Well, maybe
Yeah,
you just count autumns as summers as well.
I think so too.
Maybe.
It
Or
doesn't
springs.
scare me. It makes
Spring.
me inspired, actually. It's not a depressing
Yeah,
thing for me. It's a
yeah.
inspiring thing for me.
If you all of a sudden take your life and you compress it into those things, those dates and those things, that it's actually, whoa, okay, we've got to do something. And
It's a,
also,
it's a
as you get
reaction.
older, you also don't give a crap more. So
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you're more spontaneous, maybe.
I think you're braver when you get older
Yeah,
because you've got less to lose.
yeah, it's true. It's true. And also you've learned that most of the time nothing happens. It's fine. Just do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some more comments here. Let's have a quick look. Fiona Reed says, lovely to see you,
Oh,
my
Steve.
ever curious, effervescent friend. What do you think of the rugby on Saturday?
I'm not sure why she's asking that question.
I don't know. The rugby. What happened to rugby? Did we win it? I can't remember now if we won or lose. And I was saying the wine
We
glass is
won.
bigger than your head.
Oh, Sheena. Sheena. Are you here, Sheena? Just up the road. You should have come up to Greg's for a glass of wine.
Exactly. Cameron there, the glass is bigger than my head as well.
Oh, Tim Stevens.
Oh,
Oh,
Sans,
Timmy,
this is such fun.
yeah.
I love the fact that these shows are interactive. You know, it's like
Yeah,
interactive
thank you.
TV.
No, it's
I do love
fantastic.
that.
What you're doing, Gino, is incredible. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing.
It was never we didn't know what the hell we were doing in the beginning, but it's developed its life of its own. So moved about your work with women embracing their bodies.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I did a project called "What's Eating Us," and it was just, I suppose, driven mostly from my experience with my own body, which has never been comfortable. And I wanted to find women who were comfortable, and I couldn't really find any. So what I then decided to do was to do a photographic project around women and their bodies, and that's where I want to bring in ethno. So I started photographing women, and then I'd ask them to write a letter to their bodies on the day that I photographed them, which was not to your 16-year-old body or to your 8-year-old body, it was today. And I was so lucky to come across people who were in different stages of their bodies. Like Duncan Stewart's wife was, I think she was on her way to the hospital to give birth. So I took a photograph of her when she was pregnant.
Sure.
I took a picture of somebody who had anorexia. I took a picture of somebody who had skin disorder. So I looked for women who were in various stages of their bodies and how they felt about their bodies. And that was a great eye-opener for me, because I suppose the outtake for me was that we're not comfortable with our bodies. There were very few. But Ethna came in at the last minute because, on a sad note, she was dying of cancer.
Yes.
And she said to me, I want to be in your project because I want to tell women what to do about their bodies, because mine's on its way out. And that's Bruce Cadle's wife. And
Yes.
yeah.
First
And
one, yes.
and the thing that stuck with me was one of the things she said in the interview, where she said, absolutely love your body. Love your body as it is, because it is a vessel of love. It's a vessel of pleasure. It's a vessel of great activity, and it moves you forward. And just love it wherever it is. Meet your body where it is and love it. And that was amazing. And she did die a few months later. And so that was quite poignant for me, and it stuck with me.
No, we traveled a bit of road. That road. I remember my mom died of cancer as well. At this
I'm sorry.
similar time. But Ethna was there with my mom. Her
Yeah,
sister died
amazing
at the
woman.
same time as my mom with cancer as well. So much for those people. That's especially that woman, Ethna. There was so much going on, and she was just being so strong, you know, all the time. You know, and it was. Yeah, I remember that. It was like yesterday. It's crazy.
Yeah, me too. She taught me a great lesson, because I came home and got a snort clap around how I was treating and speaking to my body.
Yeah.
So it was a pivotal point for me, and I thank her.
Yeah. Uffa, H.
Uffa!
Stings?
Christopher. His name's Christopher. That's why he's called Uffa.
Christopher.
An old friend. Yeah.
Hi from England.
Yeah.
Chris Big Oaks.
Forever.
Stephen Lancaster saying, Akonako makes South America's is South Africa.
South Africa, the second highest continent. That's exactly right.
Okay. And as an aside, it's
It's
110.
Thank
I
you,
see.
Steve.
So it's his next one. Oh, fantastic. Megan Vass. And of course, Graham has
Megan.
just had a near-death experience himself.
I saw that. Gosh.
And so glad that he's pulled through. The upper warmer garden. Ask Sandy about building in her upper warmer garden.
So
let me hear about this. Church
we
Road.
have 2 sons. I have 2 very active sons, and when I was studying photography, I needed to keep them occupied. So they came to me one day and they said they want to build a house. I said, that's cool. In the back of our house, you can build a house. There's a big lawn there. I said, but you have to submit plans. You have to do it the right way. This is how you do it. And I gave them a list of things they have to do. And they eventually came to me with a whole plan. And I think they were, Joy, you might be telling me, but maybe they were 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. But they were at an age where they could conceptualize that they wanted to build a house. Anyway, Joy's got 3 sons. Well, 2 sons because Matthew was too young. But the other sons, James and, I can't remember his name. Anyway, and they came. So the 4 of them laid their plans down, and then they came to me and they said, no, then, so I gave them some spades and they had to dig, and they had to dig until they were waist deep to put the foundation. Took them about 2 weeks. Perfect. And then they came to me and said they were ready to throw the concrete. So I took them in my car and I took them all the way to Builder's Warehouse. And I said, no, we want to throw concrete. So we bought concrete. And the guy had to tell us how to do it. And they mixed the concrete and we had it delivered home. And then that took care of another week. And then they put the concrete in, which is fantastic because they had read it. And then they started building the bricks, because you had to go order the bricks.
Yes.
And they're building bricks. Anyway, so they go home. Joyce Radham's children go home to Gary, and they say, Gary, we're building a house. It's not a chance. He said, Gary had to come and see, and he saw it like it was knee high then. But they wanted windows. So then we went back to Builder's Warehouse and we bought windows because they were going to put the windows in. Okay. And there was, okay. Anyway, so as with little boys, they did lose a bit of momentum.
Yeah.
And so it was after about 6 weeks. And then I said, okay, well, the next 4 weeks you have to take it down. So they took it all down. Anyway, and then the grass grew over the foundations. But then Dave and I decided to renovations. And then a builder came and he started digging and he said, which builder did this building? And we were like, that was our children. He said, thank God. I thought it was a builder because it was all squiff. So that took care of about 3 months of my children's lives, and they built a house. Well, they thought they built.
Oh, that is classic. Which builder built these foundations? That's just so classic. Camilla, there we go. There's our warmer library spy. She says, I've seen suspicious couples over the years. Even at a flasher in the library. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you see the library.
You know, you think they're innocent there.
Not
the
our
lectures.
The library.
Yes. What's the do lectures?
Oh, wow. Okay, so the do lectures is a place in Wales where they where you go over. So they have 100 people. You have to handwrite your application. They choose you on your answers, and they only have 100 people. And you go and you listen. You stay in a teepee tent with 6 other people that you've never ever stayed with. Lizzie came with me, thank God. And you get to hear groundbreaking early adopters of life. For example, Lizzie and I in 2013 or 14, I can't remember, heard about Bitcoin. We heard about Bitcoin. I swear we looked at each other and we said, this oak has come out of the aliens. And I think we even left the lecture early. But I do remember him saying, buy Bitcoin. God, did I wish that I had listened to you.
Bought that Bitcoin in that bloody teepee.
In that teepee tent. Teepees we should have.
That is so hippie. That is ridiculously hippie. Okay. Amanda Duplessis, such fond memories of a sales team and meetings at your house. Was that MTN?
Yeah, I spent 2 years at Red Algoa FM.
Algoa.
Yeah, when I first moved down here. I went into the advertising department, and Amanda worked with me. So it's lovely to hear from you, Amanda.
Mitch Turner.
Oh, there you go. Mitch Turner. How do you
know Mitch? Oh, no, Mitch, of course, he's a muso, man.
He's brilliant. I met him through Adaptive Surfing in La Jolla.
We didn't even know that we...
I didn't. I met him through his sister, Kaz, years ago. I photographed him.
Mitch and Linda.
Yes.
Of course, they've been... I mean, I've known Mitch for forever. And also St. Francis junkie as well, of course. He's
exactly.
Although he's in California. I don't know what he's doing out there. How are the waves there, Mitch?
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey,
Glenn Myberg saying, hey, Sands. I also know Glenn as well.
I've done many Volkswagen functions together. Oh, my God. Glenn is my wingman, and I'm his wingman. We like...
Okay.
Yeah.
He was a great guy to meet. I don't know who that was. Tanya Hemming saying, beautiful advice, Sandy. Thank you.
Ooh,
Tanya, coming from a psychologist.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's going to, Gary said, that's about the body.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that would be about
No,
she would have
that's
liked
not
that.
my advice. That's Ethna's advice.
Yes. But and then I see Jonathan Jansen is something I see you living through your talent and passion. Sandy Coffee,
No, he
thank
was
you, says
amazing.
Stephen Lancaster.
It's
He's a
amazing.
legend as well.
Often my
Also, such a
photography.
yeah,
Oh, Tim. Uh,
just kind words.
yeah,
A
let's
special
do more,
photographer.
Tim. Let's do more. Come, let's do more.
Yes. Sandy's keen. Let's do it. Do it
Yes.
while you guys have still got a couple of summers left. All right. Curiosity is an awesome superpower. You combine it with passion so beautifully. That
Thank you,
is
Tanya.
absolutely correct. That's what I see
Hmm.
in you there. Oh, Graham here.
No,
You're a PEI code. Oh, so it's Graham that's watching on Megan's
on Megan's
Facebook.
thing, you see what
Yeah,
happens, eh? Yeah, you see
so
your back.
sneaky. Sneaky, Graham. I hope that you're feeling well, Graham, and that your stent is letting the blood flow
No,
nicely through
blood
your.
flow. Let the blood flow.
Yes, let the blood flow. Wendy Shorts, Wendy saying I was honestly one of the most
Wow.
profound evenings that was with her son. You say, huh?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Have you given a lot of this sort of? I mean, I know even Philip. I know Philip has said I phoned Sandy as well. I've spoken to her about all sorts, and it's great. You've got a gift for that, clearly.
Oh, I don't know if I have. Everyone's got gifts, but I just want to just add why my sister's
Yeah,
saying that because her
yeah,
son ended up dying of an overdose. So that's
yeah.
why it was a profound evening for her. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and that's drugs. So I mean, that's a
Yeah, it's a hectic
uh,
journey.
yeah,
It's hectic.
that's a hell of a thing. You've dealt with some stuff. You've dealt with some stuff here, Sandy.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's
No, we have
incredible.
every family, as I said, every family has a crisis or a
Yeah.
tragedy. Everyone does. We've had a few thrown at us. And
Yeah.
I just, I think the way forward is to unite the family in it. And I'm lucky
Yeah.
that I come from an incredibly close family. We are watertight.
Yeah.
And my father instilled that.
Yeah.
He said, I don't care what happens in our family,
Yeah.
but you don't judge. Whatever happens, you pull together. This is not a time for judgment. So
Yeah.
in the crises that we've had in our lives, we've all just moved in closer. So
Yeah.
I'm so lucky, and I just and I hope to have had that in my own family that I've had.
There's an honesty involved in that as well. It's got to be an unfiltered honesty that's involved in that bringing the family together and
Yeah.
being completely open with everybody, and
No, I
and
think the
everybody.
bravery is in the vulnerability.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
can't be vulnerable, sure, then what else have you got? What do
Yeah.
I don't know. I
That's
love
the
the fact that
honesty
I
in the
could
end.
phone any one of my siblings and be vulnerable. Any one of them I could phone. I can phone my mom. I mean, my
Yeah.
dad died, but I could phone any one of my siblings and go,
Yeah.
there's shit going on.
Yeah.
And they will move
They'll
mountains.
jump in. They'll jump
Yeah.
in. Honest, kind, funny, so real. You haven't changed in 20 years, Sandy.
Claire
It's
was my
clearly.
babysitter when I was at studying photography.
How does one access your interviews on her website, Wendy? I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They're on the
is that
website.
right?
Yeah.
Is it
sandycoffee.com.
sandycoffee.com? .com, not .co.za. Sandycoffee.com. Get in
It's,
there and have a look as well. Kathleen Booth, because you are so authentic, people's to feel so safe with you, just to be. You're right. You're right.
thank you, Kathleen.
And I see Odette Fosloo saying great listening.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Well,
I
good.
see Sheena Ruth. Loving
Shena.
this chat as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And Mitch is talking about the doozy here as well. Liz, what's it saying? So feminine.
No. The reason why she's saying that is because I went to her and I said, please give me some feminine lessons. Because I was always a tomboy. It was about, long time ago. I said to her, please give me some feminine. I've always been a tomboy. I'm like, out there. And the first thing she said to me was, buy feminine underwear. She said, that's where it starts, baby. That's where it starts.
Okay. Excellent. It all starts with feeling nice inside. Lisa Bobbitt, Lisa McElroy. Oh, my heroes from Durban, those two. Amazing. Hi, Bo.
Doozy.
Doozy.
Yeah, but Liz and Kaz did the doozy. I didn't. I didn't finish.
Okay. No doozy there. Most painful thing I've done is a doozy photo admin for you and Anthony.
Oh, shit, yeah. She helped us put the doozy photographs together. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Dad's diaries, says Wendy.
Ooh. Oh, okay. So my father kept a diary for 40 years. And
Wow.
he wrote a diary. He wrote a page every day.
Yeah.
And when he died, he from diagnosis to death was a week. And our whole family just pulled in, as I told you. So when there was trouble going, my sister's
Yes.
husband is a doctor, and he said, you need to come.
Okay.
Or like
Got going down.
converse. And it was 2006, we were adults.
Yeah.
And he had the most incredible death. So I always say it was a perfect death, except he died.
Yes.
And he was able to speak to us. He was able to have special time with each one of us. He was able to verbalize how he felt. And through Clive, my sister's husband, who's the doctor, he was able to be comfortable. And so it was, anyway, one night, he called me in and he said, I want you to write my last entry into my diary because you write. And I'm like, Dad, he says, just write like I died at whatever time I died of lung cancer that went to my liver and I died. And I said, I don't know if I can do that. And he said, no, I need my diary to be complete. Okay. Anyway, so 2 days later, Clive called us in and he said, the angels are close. Come and lie with your dad. And we lay with him until his last breath, all of us.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was quite a profound experience because who gets that privilege? And Clive, the doctor, he said, there's no emergency here. It's not like watching ER or Grey's Anatomy. Nobody's going to come with those pumps. We're actually going to be incredibly privileged to watch how the body closes down when it does. It's like a factory closing every door.
Yes.
And, you're going to hear the death rattle and you're going to hear stuff, but it's all the way it's meant to be. And he was a true gift because none of us panicked. And he, in fact, took his last breath and we were there, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And the reason why my sister wants me to bring out the diaries is 3 days later, after drinking copious champagne, because he left us 10,000 Rand for booze to celebrate his life. And we just got stuck in and we started reading all his diaries. Nobody had read them, not even my mom.
Wow.
And we were hysterical. They were so funny, so funny. And they were so poignant and they were so beautiful and raw and rich. And I ended up writing a letter to my dad as his last journal entry. And the letter is actually on my website. I think it's under published articles because Fair Lady actually published it. And it was just how he died. I explained to him how he died. And that was the last entry.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, I've been through that as well with my mom and my mom-in-law, and it's such a hectic time,
It's such a poignant time. It's such a
yeah,
raw and real and honest time when people die.
It is. I always compare it to birth and death is almost the same. When you have your child, the birth of your child and the death of somebody seems to, in some strange way, it's the same,
It's the same.
Like such a big momentous
It's the cycle.
Yeah.
And about a year later, I remember Ellen Lovemore fell pregnant with her fourth child.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I need to photograph her birth. And because it was her fourth child, I thought she won't be too sensitive. So I phoned her and I said, listen, can I photograph your fourth? And I did. I photographed the birth of Davy Lovemore. And it was Chris and myself and Ellen for 6 hours in labor in that labor room. And it was a profound experience for me I couldn't observe my own births, but not many people get to observe their own a birth unless they're the dad. But I got into the inner circle, and it was a profound experience to photograph the birth of David Lovemore. Yeah.
She was no. I think I witnessed one. The other one I passed out. I think there was one was a pass out, and like, and then it was over, and then the first one I was like there all the time.
But it's amazing experience.
Your old man snuff box. What the hell?
My father used to come down to St. Francis to PE, and when he was still alive, and he used to say he's going to go to the bowls club. And we stayed in Church Road so he could walk to the bowls club, and he would come home at 10 at night. Choose God.
At,
And
at
he was
Big
white.
Warmo,
He was so
Warmo
white
Country
anyway.
Club.
Yeah.
Or,
Anyway,
or,
and then he would have these dinner parties, and he loved Bella. He loved Bella so much. He met Bella, and he said, "She's my person," because
yes.
she's come into our garden. And my father used to say, "Belzy, do you want a little schnapps?" And Bells would say, "Yeah." And that was it.
Of course, Bella's
they
going to say yes.
They were the best of friends ever. In fact, the last person that ever spoke to my father outside the family was Bella. She phoned to say goodbye to him. But he used to bring out the snuff, and he said, "Everybody has to have snuff." And we're like, "Oh my God, who does this?" Anyway, we all
I
did
know.
it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've just experienced it in Cape Town, where they had a whole lot of guys from Namibia that came in. They had this machine, and it's got a little lever on it.
Machine.
Yeah. It's got a metal lever with a little thing on the end, and then they put the little things of snuff, and you put your nose there, and then he murred the other side. It went in my brain.
No, it does. My father used to say it takes out everything out of your, but it also bloody takes you out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It takes me. I was walking around in a daze for about 10 minutes. Is it Shan Neubert?
Sean. Oh,
Okay,
Sean is
Sean.
my yes friend. Sean is my yes friend.
One of
She
the
just-
Neubert. So you know Mike as well, and Lynn,
Yeah,
of
no,
course.
Mike, for sure. And that's so
Yes.
Sean is Gary's wife. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know. We know the Noibs. They've been
Yeah,
around.
you know, so legendary.
That's it. Broccoli in wine glasses and nakedness in the lavender.
So
You're
just a
naked in
snapshot.
the lavender.
We went cycling in France. Sean put it together, actually. There were, I think, 8 of us, and we tried to raise money for my mother's feeding scheme. So we got our
Okay.
friends to sponsor us around a kilometer. And we went,
Lovely.
yeah, but we paid our own expenses, just saying.
Yes.
And we got to France, and we were cycling through all the beautiful wine areas, and we obviously had lots of wine, and we were naked in the lavender. So,
Watch out for them bees.
oh, nighttime.
Oh, okay, that was all right. I was so Wendy saying was also with my dad when he passed away. You've just reminded. It's
Hundred.
amazing how that all just comes back like it's yesterday.
Yeah, for you too, Gino.
Yeah, so many people have to go through that whole thing, and it's such a it's just crazy. Amazing program, super special. Watching our interviewer Sandy becoming the interviewee.
I know, it's not
Indeed.
so comfortable.
I know it's not. Okay, I want to find out the first album that you ever bought.
Sure. First, Cat Stevens.
Cat
Tea for the
Stevens.
Tillerman.
Oh wow. Okay. What was the title track of that?
Aging
I can't
myself.
remember.
Moon Shadow.
Moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, boom boom. Oh, nice. I like Cat Stevens.
I
Big
love
voice.
Cat.
Rah. I was thinking of Sam Minnie. You know Sam Minnie as well.
Yeah.
The late great. And your happy place?
My happy place. More recently, right here. Yeah, right here. I love
St.
going. I
Francis.
swim every morning. I go and swim every single morning in the sea,
Do you?
and I go down
Oh
to,
yes.
and I
You're
just
like
go.
those old ladies in Summer Strand.
Yeah, I am an old lady, but not from
There
some.
you go. Going to go down every morning and have a swim. I don't care what happens.
Go down there. Winter was a bit difficult, but now it's getting warmer.
Yes, it is quite hectic, especially in the St. Francis. There've been a shark or two every now and again, you know.
I don't go that deep, Gino. I do not go that
Okay,
deep. I
good.
just
Yeah,
cover in the shallows.
we saw them in the shallows, those little hammerhead bastards. They came, swam up to me and went away. It was hectic. Your pet peeve. I want to know about your pet peeve. Pisses you off.
Ooh, I think I know what that is. It's arrogance. If I smell arrogance, I just want to run.
Sandwiches, like cheese ones, when they're supposed to give you nice food.
There's no point in being arrogant. Sure.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, please tell the elephant story. Oh, please tell the elephant story. The one.
So, Sean and Gary and myself and David and a few others went very recently up to Pafuri to do a walk
Preferry.
up at Kruger National. But it's a walkie
Oh,
safari, and
Oh,
it's
wow. Okay.
hectic actually. Like it's really wild. Like you have 2 guys, and then you have the guns, and then it's us. And
Holy crap.
we kind of like thought maybe they were just, keeping us, like showing us the big five. And actually, it wasn't the big five, but they were like taking us through, and they were until the last day. We were 500 meters from our end point, and we kind of all dropped our guard. And Gary was in front of me, and my husband was nowhere to be seen. He was at the back. Sean was at the back. Everyone else was at the back. Me and Gary, because I always followed the strong guy. And so it was the ranger number 2, Gary, and then me, and then no one for a while. And we were just like in our own jaw. Jeez, and the next thing, this elephant comes so close that I can see his ears this big. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It was huge. But I just remember thinking, I've got Gary. Jeez, in 2 seconds, Gary's gone. I don't know where Gary's gone. Gone. And the 2 guards, in 1 second, their skill was immaculate. Their skill was, the first guy had the safety latch off. The second guy put in a bullet and then put the safety chat, whatever, so that they were both there. And they managed us. And they said, everybody, don't run, but get to the riverbed.
Okay.
And then they tried to scare off the elephant. It was so close. I can tell you, I turned around, nobody was listening. It was just dust. I turned around.
Running.
Dust. There were slip-slops flying all over the place, shoes flying, Gary nowhere to be seen. I just did a side dive. My husband, at the way back, where is he? Nowhere. Where was Gary? Nowhere. Anyway, to the other side. And I tell you, the skill with these guys, and this is what I want to say, and it's called African-born safaris, and remember that name, because the skill that they gave us in not shooting that elephant was extraordinary.
Yeah.
Because they would have. They said if he had turned around and come back to us, they would have shot him. So they were amazing.
Shoot him.
Yeah. So we had a very frightening experience.
Yeah, that animal is so bloody big. And when
you
you
don't
see it
realize,
up
they look
close,
healthy and everything, but they're not. That noise. I mean, these guys just screamed at the elephant. Screamed.
Really? Okay.
And they stopped it. Sure. We all got back to camp and we're like, okay, it's only like 10:30. Bring that booze. Bring it.
Yeah, bring it in. Okay, what's the longest time you've ever gone without showering?
3 days at Africa Burn.
Ooh, Africa Burn. How is that? Is that a jewel?
Everyone needs to go once. Yeah.
Yes, I've been told I have to go to Africa Burn.
Definitely. Go to Africa Burn. It changes your life. I promise you. And it's not a drug thing. Everyone goes, oh, there's some drugs. Yeah, there are drugs. But I'm not a drug user. So you go for many things. I set a task every time I go to Africa Burn that I get up for the sunset. Sunrise.
Sunrise, yes.
And sunset.
Stay up for the sunset.
Yeah. And it's just the most life-changing experience. It completely expands your vision, and it's safe, and it's gorgeous, and it's wild, and it's fantastic.
Wow. Okay, I can imagine. I think Linky would also like that, because you're bloody bunch of hippies.
But not only hippies go. My husband's an engineer, and I went to 3 Africa Burns before he came. And one day he's like, I think I should come. I'm like, I think you shouldn't. Anyway, then he came, and now he doesn't want to miss it.
And then do you get to burn stuff at the end of it?
Well, you get to be part of the burns and watch the burns, and
because they make things and then they burn them or something.
Yeah. The end of the artistic expression is how it burns.
Okay, because you know what, I love the steampunk vibe. So it's lots of that.
You follow the train, dancing.
Is there a steampunk train?
It's going at about 5 km an hour, and you dance behind it.
And you dance around with the DJ and everything. Really?
Yeah. It's a mobile DJ.
Now, Gary's saying, somebody kill me. He says, I'm there. I'm there behind the train. Gary is in the car eating the knickknacks and drinking wine. I gotta come. I think I gotta come to the next Africa Burn. I don't know if Philippa will like it. Ask her what. Philippa, will you like to come? Yeah, it's fine. It might have to be a Bella Davy story.
Bella's coming.
Is she going as well?
Yeah, she's in.
Oh my word. Okay, so which of the 7 dwarfs resembles you most?
Is there one called Stumpy?
I don't think so. Stumpy?
I think there's a Stumpy.
I think it's supposed to describe your personality, like happy or saddy or. Grumpy. I
All
think
of them
it's
together.
all of them, the whole lot. What are they called? Eclectic
Yes.
dwarf.
I'm a combined seven dwarf. Dwarf is the
Excellent.
right word. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
only
Oh my word. Okay. Have you ever thrown up in public?
yes.
Oh, nice. Well, we won't go into that. I don't know what
Yeah,
Gary's put that one in there.
no, please do not. I'm a,
Were
esteemed
there
member.
police there? There weren't police there.
Yes, strange enough, they were
Oh, there were. Okay. Well, then you were safe. It's fine.
safe.
Do you secretly dislike any of your friends' kids, especially when
No,
they're built in your bloody yard?
no, I absolutely adore my friends' kids. I love
Do
them.
you?
Yeah,
Do you love kids in general then?
yeah. I love the youth in general.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
because they're spontaneous. They do. They make you
Oh, they're
younger.
fresh. I like
Yeah.
fresh.
Yes. Have you ever fired a gun?
Yeah,
Have you?
yeah.
How's your thought? What's your thoughts on hunting and stuff? I don't know stories.
Hunting, I wouldn't hunt, but I respect it. I think that there's something beautiful about eating what you hunt. Vernon Waite, that's what he taught me. He's a friend of
Yeah.
ours, and he hunts his food, and I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. So I don't have a terribly intense feeling around that, as long as it's done
Yeah.
ethically.
Yes. I
Um,
think Brian, is it Brian Mullins that we want to get on and to talk about a bit about the ethical hunting and stuff as well.
yeah.
See what the story is there. What's your favorite smell?
Um, the smell of the neck of a loved one.
That could smell like a lot of different things. Probably smells like bloody Bella Dakin if you don't.
When you're kissing someone or you're close to
Yes.
someone and you put your nose into their neck, that's a
Yes,
beautiful
no, I know,
smell for me.
of course, yes. Your husband's thing smells like Bella Dakin. She's been there on the mountain.
So that's funny.
Okay, so oh, this is a nice question. Last one in the getting to know yous before we get to the last few little questions is
There's more.
what will we be nostalgic about in 40 years?
Having the choice to put our cell phones down.
Uh-huh. They're like nostalgic, saying, "Wow, I'm glad we
I think that we're
got
creating
rid of that."
space. I think we're aware of it, but I think it's going to overtake our lives.
Yeah. Yeah, you mean so remember those days when we used to put our cell phones down?
Yeah, because
Or
I
when
think
they
we're going to have chips and I think
have
we're
them in
going to
there?
have glasses. Yeah. So I think it's
So
going
you
to
mean
be
they're
the
gonna be
freedom to put your cell phone down.
it's like genetically we're gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
remember when I could put my phone down? Now it's like tied in between my ears. That vibe, hey. Yeah, jeez, I'm never gonna go for that. They can kill me, but they'll
Yeah,
never
kill me. Take me. I'm going to throw my cell phone into the sea.
I'll throw it in the sea. Oh, I love that. Yes, that is a good answer. Good answer. All right, so we got some crazy questions just to finish off. You thought these were crazy anyway, I suppose.
What they do, yeah.
So I don't know if Gary's got an introduction for the crazy things. He hasn't got one. Oh, apparently he's not that organized tonight.
Oh, good. Okay, I feel like it shouldn't be.
Questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's an ambulance, you drive in an ambulance on the way to save somebody, and then you hit somebody, and
Shit.
then do you stop for them, or do you carry on to the other guy that you're going to save? Huh?
I think in an ambulance there are always two people, so drop one off and carry on.
Oh, shit. We have to fix that question. We'll have to fix that question next time. All right. We left a loophole. We left a loophole in that one. Damn you. All right. What's the first thing we do if you woke up and suddenly you woke up out of a daze and you had a knife in your hand full of blood and all over your hands and you were looking at a dead body?
Oh my God.
What would you do?
I think I would phone one of my sisters or my brother.
Oh, phone them immediately. Put your fingerprints all over the telephone then, eh? And just carry on like that. Would you not put on a glove first, maybe?
I wouldn't be good at a crime.
Oh, yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah, no,
This
maybe I just
crime's
phoned
got
the
you.
police and said it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I'm pretty sure it wasn't me. This bottle of wine behind me wasn't mine either.
Blood on my hands.
Or do you just say, bring the onions, Gary, bring the onions. We're going to have a lovely meal tonight, and I'm going to wash myself now.
Oh God, that's a terrible question. I mean, it's a good question. Terrible
No, it's a
question.
good one. All right. You've discovered a beautiful island upon which you may build your own society, and you can even make the rules. What's going to be the first rule that you put into place?
That there are no rules.
No rules. God, it's anarchy. Hey, this island of yours. I suppose depends
fun.
who's on the island with you.
You can reframe it to fun. Freedom.
Yes, I suppose it'd be
Fun.
freedom. It'd be like bloody Africa burn on that island.
After yourselves.
There we go. All right. Which famous celebrity would you want to punch in the face?
Paris Hilton.
Oh, how
He's
very
innocuous.
violent of you. Paris Hilton.
Innocuous and rich is a
I
bad
couldn't pick a
combination.
girl. I couldn't answer that and pick a girl. I would. It couldn't be. Do mermaids have live babies, or do they lay eggs?
They marry unicorns and the eggs come out of the horn.
Oh, they come out of the horns. It's like little drips, like a little.
They always marry
needle.
unicorns. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, no. That's why she has a medical guy on standby with the
Yeah.
at her events. Yes, I see. Okay. Meatloaf says he'll do anything for love, but he won't do that. What's your that?
I'll never forsake or give up my children.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, it's a bit of a boring one, that one. Bit of a boring answer. Yes, we'll have to spice that one up somehow for later. Now, would you break up with your partner for 10 million rand?
Oh, yes. Only jokes. David's not
Oh.
listening, so he doesn't know.
Oh, he's not
But
listening. He won't know until.
if he was listening, I would say definitely not, but he's not
Not.
listening, so hell yes. 10 million.
Yes, 10 million. And then you'll just carry on living together in sin.
Yes. And then he'll wonder where I got the 10 million from.
Yeah, you'll be like, where did you get it from? Just a big photography job that I did. Took naked photos of some famous person. There we go.
I did take naked pictures. Natalie. Natalie's my
Natalie.
niece. Oh, my word. So I have a brother who died. I had a brother who died, and Natalie is his daughter, and she's cherished and loved, and she's us. So thank you for that.
Lots of love sent to you, Nats. There we go. And Christopher Hastings.
1900 balloons.
What's 99
Oh, I have
balloons?
to go back in my memory for that one.
Dun, ba-dum, bum, bum,
I know that song. That was the
bum,
time that we
ba-dum,
knew
bum,
each other.
ba-dum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nina Hagen. So was from Germany.
Nina Hagen.
Luftballon.
Germany.
Yeah. What are you talking about, Christopher? Let us know. I like that song as
same
well.
time that yeah.
Oh, man. So Maria says Paris Hilton is lovely. Look.
Oh, Maria. Which Maria says
Yes,
that? Maria.
she says Paris Hilton is lovely.
Paris.
And you know,
Ooh.
I spoke to Paris. She spoke very highly of you, you know,
Me?
Sandy. She said,
Maria,
Sandy,
I do like her, but I'm not sure I would like her. If you know.
No, I don't think it. You know, you get an idea like those other lot that are on TV all the time. What do they call it? Kardashians. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, no, it drives me nuts. Actually, I'll put them ahead of Paris Hilton. So yeah.
Okay. Punch in the face first. Hey, one punch there. Poof. Paris Hilton. Poof.
On the other side. Yeah.
This interview is so wonderfully discussed, and it touches our own experiences and develops such a wake-up call. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. What a legend. What a legend. Gail Brackenridge, interesting stories. Much love from Gail as well. And I see. So we got two more little questions. Oh no, one more left. Only one more left here. So, you would love her as she has the biggest girl's feet I've ever seen. That's what Maria says. She's got big feet. Got very big feet. That's Paris Hilton. Well, they're not going to hold up once Sandy's given her a pop on the nose. Those feet will have to she's gone over the backwards anyway. There says Christopher says when Sandy was doing her Europe tour in '82, she introduced As to a Walkman
Oh,
and Nina.
Walkman.
Oh, wow.
Nina. Oh, there you go. Exactly.
Sony
That's what I
Walkman.
said. It was when I met him.
Ah,
Yeah.
right, all right. The Sony Walkman. And that was a
Oh,
good
it
time
was
for
like
music,
a brick.
that, eh?
It was like a brick.
Yeah, it was. It was. But good time for music. The 80, 81, 82, 83, even 1980, right up to 84. Incredible time for music. Incredible. I loved it.
Perfect. Oh,
All right,
lovely.
final question here, Sandy. If you could completely get rid of 1 month out of the year, which month would it be and why?
I think July, because it was the hardest month for me to swim every day. It was so flippin' cold.
Oh, it's
So
your
yeah,
swimming in.
that
Okay.
was really hard. Wow, hard.
Well, it's good that you've tied it in with the seasons, because I mean that does make sense then.
It was easy to start. It was easy to start in summer, but geez, winter was hectic. I had to dig deep.
Yeah, no, that's and July, getting up in the morning to go swim. So it's like a thing. It's not like just I feel like a swim. It's like I'm gonna
It's
go and swim.
made a commitment
It
on
bloody
Christmas
well
Day
kills
last
me.
year. Christmas Day last year, inspired by my brother, I said I would swim every day until this Christmas, and so I'm nearly there.
Oh, you need it. So you actually said, okay, I'm gonna do it every day.
Yes,
Wow,
indeed.
that's it. Now the family's starving. She says.
Busy,
Says Liz.
busy. We finished. We are almost finished.
Yes, we're finished now. We're finished. It's fine. It's done. Thank you so much, Sandy. There's one last little thing that I always ask my every single guest, and that's your most embarrassing moment and your proudest moment, or the embarrassing moment and the time when something's gone completely wrong. So this is normally in the work.
So I often have things going wrong.
Yeah.
So I've arrived at shoots with no batteries. I've had to
yeah.
go and find. I've had to when we were still shooting film. I shot a whole roll with no film in the camera.
No film in the camera.
Those
Yes,
were
yes.
terrible experiences. What's the other
Wedding.
question?
They have to
Oh,
come
the
back the
wedding,
next day.
Yeah. No, geez. And there were two. One of them was a photographer, and he asked me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited." Nothing. Came up
No
black.
film.
Yeah, that was the
My
worst
brother did the
experience.
same thing. Okay. He did my
You don't do that
cousin's
again.
wedding. And
Only that happens once. Only
I did. It did, yes. He took the whole thing, and there's no camera, no film in the camera. They had to get dressed up again and go the next day again and do all the photos over again.
That's terrible.
Your proudest moment?
I think the proudest moment for me was giving birth to two sons. I think that's a normal answer for a mother.
Yes, it's always very, very
I
normal.
think the
Very normal.
proudest moments were when they got to 21 and we had burgers and boerewors for their 21st year in St. Francis, and I just watched them when they gave their speeches, and I just thought, oh my God,
Wow.
we made this.
Yeah.
These are
yeah.
ours. I was
Fruit of
proud.
your loins.
And I was also very, very proud when my brother won a gold medal for South Africa for adaptive surfing. I was on the
That
beach.
is amazing.
And I saw
Listen,
it,
I saw
and
that there's a video of him
Yeah.
surfing online there. Hell's
Amazing.
bells. That looks like a
I was on the beach, and it was just an extraordinary moment because when my brother was disabled, he was 5 when he had a car accident. But he had a picture of Sean Thompson on his. He was a big surfer anyway, and he had
Yes.
a picture of Sean Thompson in his room, and he said, "One day I'm going to be world champion." And of course, he couldn't be because he was disabled. But then when disabled surfing came, he won that gold medal, and he became the surfing champion of the world. So
Isn't
that
that
was a proud
amazing?
moment. Yeah, amazing.
Has he met Sean Thompson? Because I know he's been around a
Oh
bit.
yeah. Sean comes.
Yeah.
Sean actually
Okay.
comes, and they're good friends. And he comes and on the
Magic.
beach at La Jolla in San Diego, and he helps Ant. So
Fantastic. I just love that. I met Sean Thompson as well doing some gigs
He's
along
an
the
amazing
way.
guy.
Liz says, hanging on every word, Sands. The family is starving.
Yes.
That's right. Your family needs food now, Sandy. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you,
and
Gino. I really thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming on.
I know, isn't it been amazing? There's so much love out there. There's going to be comments coming in the whole week, I know, for you, and messages on your phone, I'm sure. There's so much love for you out there, Sandy, and it's totally justified. What you're doing is amazing. Your work is incredible, and you're part of the community, holding it together as well, and I love that too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gino. I appreciate it. Thank you, Gary.
We'll see you in St. Francis, in the waves. Ciao, Sandy. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Gino's Spot. It's been fantastic. Bella Dakin, you are the winner of the Fitch and Leads, as we did earlier with our ring. Thank you to Spa, our amazing sponsors. Wendy, thank you so much for coming on. And Maria, it's been fantastic having all of you online and commenting all the time. It's been fantastic fun. Thank you to Fitch and Leads. Thank you to Spa. Thank you to Amobia, our internet service provider. And of course, thanks to Fat Cats and to Keith with these punters. We've been punting here tonight. It's been great. Lovely. And thank you to you for joining us. And we will see you on Tuesday. No, on Saturday. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. It's Garth Sampson, the weatherman, is on. Garth, he's always an interesting person to talk to. So we've got Garth Sampson, the weather guy. He's going to be on Thursday. We're going to do live Thursday, 6:30 for Saturday. We're going to rebroadcast that on Saturday as well. So that will be our Saturday show. But Thursday, live, 6:30. See you there. Oh, yes!
You got to face that feeling. You filled up your tank with feeling. Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. One drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino's Shot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's Spot.